We still don't know who killed Star Wars.
But we got a new lead.
How did we miss that? You know, with The Force Awakens out, leaves us only with 2 suspects, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker.
With The Force Awakens getting caught in the blast, there's only one sequel bold enough to finish the job.
Let me see that for a second.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
Would you rather I break it in half?
No! Why would I want that?
After The Force Awakens, would you even suspect that The Last Jedi could even be capable of such a thing?
No, that would subvert my expectations.
Let's get to work.
Yeah. Last week, we determined that The Force Awakens was not the prime suspect in the crime of killing Star Wars.
So now we turn to our next suspect.
A film that split the fan base clean in half since 2017.
A film that many would consider to be the leading suspect in this investigation.
The Last Jedi.
And tonight, we're going to attempt to approach this film with no preconceived bias, no tired arguments, no recycled discourse. Maybe anyway, we'll see how that goes.
Just the evidence, the film, and our reaction to it.
But before we examine the film itself, I think we need to look at the world it was born into.
Because to understand The Last Jedi, we have to understand the Star Wars ecosystem between 2015 and 2017.
Here it is, man.
Dude, this is an awesome trailer.
I watched, this was the first celebration. I wasn't there, but I watched the entire thing.
Yes. Yes. And I remember just like it being dark and then all of a sudden this is going on. I'm like, oh, this is...
Because you thought it was going to be stars, but it wasn't. It was the ground.
Exactly. And then too, what you can hear with everybody, because you can...
And then... Right here. Dude, I nearly burst into tears of this trailer. Because I was like, there he is. There's my hero.
Yeah,
there's Luke.
This is it. But I like too, when he says, what do you see?
Yes.
And then you can hear Leia. You can hear Leia talking here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a well-cut trailer, man.
Oh, man. Everybody combed over all this where it's like, yeah, you can hear Darth Vader breathing here.
I'll say it. I actually think this is a little bit better than the Force Awakens teaser. Force Awakens teaser was like groundbreaking because of when it came out.
Yes.
But I think this...
Oh, no. Well, you had some structure because now we can like we can try to connect some puzzle pieces. With Force Awakens, it was just images. Yeah, exactly, we have no idea. Oh, yeah.
It's just hype moments and aura.
Yes.
Here we got hype moments, aura, and a little bit of story.
Yes, exactly. I think
What's
it's
that about?
Yeah, exactly. And then too, that the fact that Kylo Ren, he's only in one shot in this whole trailer.
I guess I haven't thought about
it's going to be, right there. And that's it. Other than that, you don't even see him at all. Yeah, it's a well done trailer.
And then the big with that shot.
Yes.
And it was like, oh man, we're about to get something cool.
Yeah.
We're about to get something interesting because we're still here, right? We're still in hype mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think maybe before Return of the Jedi, maybe before Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. The most hype that the Star Wars community has ever been in.
We got to set the stage, people.
Yes, we do.
2015, December 18th, 2015. We talked about it all last week. The Force Awakens comes off. And for the most part, the Star Wars fandom's pretty hot. They're walking out of that theater going, who's Rey? What's Kylo Ren doing? Who's Snoke? What's all this about?
But most importantly, we're back, baby.
And what's Luke Skywalker going to do in the next movie? And so you had 2 years of speculation, of theories, of water cooler talk. And to be frank, it was awesome.
It was.
It was a special time to be a fan. It really was.
I was actually at Star Wars Celebration for the trailer.
Okay.
Yes. And I actually, I have Rian Johnson's autograph. So
a treasured item.
Yes. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I stayed in line all night long to watch to be the first to see the trailer. And it was about I think it was 1 a.m. All of a sudden there was a bunch of commotion because we were just in line. We were in a big queue line and they were like, someone's coming down the way. Someone's coming. And it was Rian Johnson. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get up there. I just handed my wife the card and I was like, get up there. And she pushed her way to there. And he signed my Star Wars Destiny Kylo Ren card and he signed her badge. So pretty cool.
And for me specifically, I want to mention, I think it's important because to establish my bias once again here, Luke's my guy.
Yeah.
Luke is my guy.
Yeah.
Anakin Vader is my guy, but Luke's like, he's my hero.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, you don't need us to get on the soapbox for the 1 millionth time about like the best moment in Star Wars being the end of Return of the Jedi, but it's because of Luke. And my goodness, I was so excited. And I'm watching this trailer, I'm like, he's back. He's training Rey. Dude, that shot, the shot that I remember was the wide shot of you see Luke's silhouette and Rey training
Swinging
with the lightsaber. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for this. And as time went on, I remember I followed every news source I could to know when trailers were going to drop. And I remember when the official trailer came out later, it was like it's like a football game or something, right?
Yeah,
Something
I think it was like a
that.
halftime show or something.
And I could care less about that, but I tuned in. I'm like, I would need to be one of the first people to see this trailer.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Regardless of how the rest of this conversation goes and how I feel about this movie, I will treasure that time as a fan because it was so much fun.
Oh my gosh, too, the leaks or whatever where people would just, this is it. This is what's going to happen. I remember Snoke's like an ancient Force vampire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luke's guarding something on Octo. Maybe Snoke himself. Maybe Snoke is buried on Octo.
Yeah.
You remember the crystal? The necklace. That's Darth Vader's lightsaber crystal.
That's part of Darth Vader's lightsaber crystal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the compass.
Yes.
That's huge. It's gonna make a world of difference to the movie.
It's true.
You know, this is, gosh, every little piece. So that is sort of where the fan base was at this time, which is really important to understand the fan base's reaction to this movie. Because after it came out, people weren't so hot on the direction that Rian Johnson took this film.
Other people thought it was the best Star Wars movie made, though, because it was ballsy.
And you had other people who felt kind of betrayed,
Very.
Not just disappointed, but like,
yes,
this tore the fan base in two.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's ever recovered, to be honest. I think that there are still people who will refuse to watch a new Star Wars because of this.
Yeah.
And
let alone watch this movie again.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said, and I'm sure we will get into it, about whether or not that was the wisest choice on behalf of Disney, Lucasfilm, and Rian Johnson to take this in such a different direction 8 movies in.
Yeah.
The penultimate movie to the saga. And we will, of course, get into that. I do want to, before we set out, because I actually haven't seen this movie since this came out, the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Which was 2017 or 2018 rather. So it has been 7 years since I've watched this movie. And I'll be honest, I kind of think maybe I'll enjoy it a little bit more this time around, just because of conversations we've had on the show. I'm very curious to see if my opinions have changed.
Yeah.
When I watched this movie for the first time in the theater, I remember there being moments of like, the first act, I was like, no, man, what is this? But there's more movie left. Like, this stuff has to get better. There's more movie. And then we started to get like the Yoda scene, which, gosh, I love it so much. And other scenes, I'm like, okay, the Battle of Crait. And I remember when he gets hit with the first blast from the Guerrilla Walkers. I was like, just based on how the movie was going up to that point, I'm like, is that it? Did they do that? Like, I fully bought in just because of how the movie had treated all these characters up to this point. I would have not have been surprised if that was truly the end of Luke Skywalker. Yeah. But then he walks out and I'm like, okay, can breathe a sigh of relief. I really enjoyed that final act. I'm like, okay. But then Luke died. And I just sinking feeling in my chest. And I'm like, what? They killed Han in the last movie and now they're killing Luke? And by this point, I believe we knew. Carrie had passed. Yeah, by the time this movie came out, I was trying to remember timeline. She passed right after Rogue One came out, if I remember right. And so I'm like, what? That's it for all of my heroes. They're gone. And it hurt me so bad after I left the theater. And you're right. Like, as I spoke to my wife, I was like, I did like it, but I went, this is going to sound silly, and maybe it was, but I went home and I just went to bed. Yeah. I just went to bed and I'm like, and I took my friend to go see it the next day. And I'm like, maybe I'll like it on the second viewing. No, I didn't. I liked it even less. And I was just so like, it went beyond disappointment. I felt hurt. Yeah. And maybe that's silly to say about a movie, but that's really how I felt walking out of the theater. Yeah. How about you?
So I remember being like, it's kind of like, so I remember the first time I saw Phantom Menace and thinking, well, that was different. Okay. But I don't like hate it. It's just different. And so I remember having similar thoughts with this one where I was like, they really took this in a lot of different directions. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, but it took me time to kind of appreciate Phantom Menace. So I figured that would happen over time, that I would kind of appreciate it more. And it was weird because, as you said, at the time I was working at a board game store. And so, as you said, like the fan base was split in two right down the middle. And so I had this conversation with tons of people. Some people loved it. Other people hated it. Best movie since Empire. Never going to watch another Star Wars movie again. I mean, I heard it all because I was the bartender as they're, buying the whatever board game. I'm sitting there talking to them about it and I was known as the movie guy. So everyone wanted to know my opinion about it. So yeah, it's kind of a tough time as a fan.
And this didn't happen after Force Awakens, by the way.
It did not.
You had people that are like, it's just A New Hope, but nobody felt like betrayed.
Yeah.
Some people were like, this is just, they've MCU'd it, whatever. Like, this just feels like Marvel. But nobody, it's just important to distinguish the two events because I think now people lump all the sequels together. But it's important for people to remember, especially if you weren't there, because my goodness, it's been almost 10 years now. That's crazy. Yeah. And people who weren't there. And I wonder really if new fans coming into the franchise are going to experience the same thing because they didn't go through that period where everybody was hot.
Yeah.
On all this.
Where you can watch them all back to back to back.
Yeah. And maybe that helps it. Maybe it hurts it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so maybe you came to me that night in 2017 and asked me the question, did The Last Jedi kill Star Wars? A younger me might have agreed with you. A younger me might have been up like, lock him up. That's it.
A younger you would have been like, I'm going to bed. I don't even want to talk about Star Wars.
So, it's been all this time, Seth. Let's see if The Last Jedi really is that cold-blooded killer everybody says it is. It's really
Like the movie just started. We're on October. Luke Skywalker and Rey. What's he gonna do with that lightsaber? Was that the sound of the Skywalker blade hitting my windshield?
It was indeed the sound of the Skywalker blade hitting your windshield.
Didn't expect that.
Oh look, a porg.
That was something.
quite a movie.
Yeah.
I'm left with more differing thoughts than when I watched The Force Awakens. There are things I still didn't like, but I think now I at least understand why I don't like them. And I'm excited to unpack those here today.
Okay.
I think the best way to talk about this is because it's really all about introductions. Introductions to each of our characters, both old and new to this movie. And that's what I would like to discuss with you here. I think the best place to start is where the movie starts.
Oh, in the beginning?
In the beginning. And so here, shortly after the title crawl, we are met with our first conflict of The Last Jedi and what sets us up for all the conflicts going forward in this story. General Hux has arrived to Dakar shortly after the destruction of Starkiller Base, and the Resistance is having to put up a last stand in order to escape and get the Resistance to safety. And for the most part, I think this is an okay scene.
Yes.
I think the space battle is pretty thrilling. It's really interesting. You get a lot of interesting character moments with Poe, with Leia. I really love the little vignette with Rose Tico's sister, Paige Tico.
Yes.
That's Ryan at his best in moments like that. Take this
those,
unnamed rebel.
Get those little baby stories right there where he can tell like a little like 2-minute story, 3-minute story. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Almost no words.
Right.
Yeah. Just make us feel for them.
And it's also really smart writing because she, even though she's kind of an unnamed character, connects directly to one of our main characters going into the rest of the story with Rose Tico.
And kind of helps fuel her motivation. Like her death here then fuels her motivation to then also motivate Finn for later in the movie.
Right. Getting to see the visual of the necklace, the pendant,
yeah,
and how that connects visually to Rose's pendant. So without dialogue, you get it. Right?
Yeah.
You can connect dots, and you know when she says, "My sister just died," who she's referring to.
Yes.
So that's this scene at its best. But there's kind of two things that...
Two wolves, if you will.
Two wolves.
Yes.
And that's first off with this guy right here, with General Hux.
It really stinks because I just don't understand why they're kind of playing him for laughs, especially within the last movie. He was very, very scary.
Yeah.
Yes, he was like Tarkin, but like even more ambitious, it felt like, because he was young and he had something to prove. It's kind of interesting. Everyone's introductions in this first act, every main character, something kind of silly happens.
Yeah.
And I'm just not really sure why that decision was made.
Ryan seems to take humor as at the expense of our characters, almost exclusively. And that can be really frustrating because here we have Hux, a great villain from the last movie. Like you said, I mean, he's scary. And here he's reduced to just kind of a pouty wimp.
Yes.
We have a little bit later in this scene where Poe is going around destroying all the cannons on the dreadnought. And he's just like,
just sitting there watching.
Why are you breaking my stuff? Well, that's what's hard about this movie. Is like there's always a caveat.
Two wolves.
Two wolves.
Yes.
All the time where you have awesome space battles going on. My goodness. Showing Poe's aptitude for piloting and the insane moves that he's doing.
That 180's sick. I love when he grabs the console.
And does
whip back around.
The whip.
Yeah, a little Tokyo drift. Yeah.
Super cool, right? And like, what is not to love about that? But then you have to keep cutting back to Hux. And let me just show you, just to show the folks at home exactly what I mean.
General Hux of the First Order. The Republic is no more.
So already it's weird because this is the guy who blew up Hosnian Prime.
Yes.
With no questions asked.
Exactly.
And now he's sitting here just talking. Just hanging out with Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
And listen to what he says here.
Princess, there will be no terms. There will be no surrender.
Just shoot him.
Yeah.
What are we waiting on?
Yeah.
Because then you get the first kind of big eye roll.
Hi, I'm holding for General.
Hi, I'm holding.
Yeah.
And it's just...
I'd feel a little better about it if maybe we could see what Poe was doing, because he's letting his little turbo booster or whatever charge.
Sure.
Yeah. That it's like, maybe I would like this better if like the humor was just BB-8 and Poe stalling.
I think of Han Solo in Return or in A New Hope.
Yes.
Talking to the people in the Death Star, like, hi, everything's fine here. How are you? It feels desperate on Han Solo's part, whereas here does not feel that way.
No,
we're
not
just
at all.
playing, and we're kind of tearing down Hux in the process. And it feels like anytime Ryan wants to do anything, he has to tear something down in the process. The building up may be really cool, but I cannot escape the fact that you have to destroy in order to build.
Yeah.
And Hux is a great example of this. He's just reduced to a joke. And for the most part in this movie, it's not quite as bad as the next movie. We'll get to it, wink, wink. Here, it's just frustrating. I'm not scared of Hux at all.
Not at all. The next scene with Hux and Snoke after all of this.
After he just gets kind of bopped on the ground. Yeah,
exactly.
And another thing I have to bring up with this that is really frustrating, it doesn't set the First Order up to be that scary. Think about all the losses the Resistance have in this first scene. It's almost entirely by luck.
Yes.
That TIE fighter gets blown up.
Yes.
Flies into one of the bomber blows up, and then that bomber blows up two more bombers.
Yep.
That's not anything to do with the competence of the First Order. It's all entirely by accident.
Basically, all they did was blow up all their fuel.
Yeah. And the only moment you get where you're like, oh, shoot, the First Order is something to be scared of is when you find out about light speed tracking.
Yep.
Maybe this is on purpose, but it does feel weird because it's like you just blew up all of the car, and I'm supposed to be scared of you guys this whole movie. Why are you showing them at this level of incompetence?
Yeah.
So before we completely move on from this scene, there's one other aspect I do want to talk about, and it was just before this when Poe introduces himself and says, "Hi, I'm Poe Dameron of the New Republic Fleet." I have to go back to an issue I had with Force Awakens. You'll recall one of my chief issues with Force Awakens was the fact that the status quo was essentially reset to that of A New Hope. It's Empire versus Rebels all over again, except for it's First Order versus Resistance. But then you find out that there's actually a New Republic. The First Order is just kind of out and about in the unknown regions or wherever. The movie goes out of its way to try to convince you just with names like, oh no, but remember A New Hope, guys? Remember A New Hope? And it hurts the world building. Because really, the New Republic is the primary power in the galaxy. And in an instance, that shifts when Starkiller Base blows up Hosnian Prime. And that's kind of interesting. Like, how does the galaxy deal with that? Maybe now we need a resistance. And it would add a lot more weight to this movie if at the end, when you get Luke Skywalker's speech where he says the rebellion is reborn today, if the rebellion was actually reborn that day. It's not.
Yeah.
The rebellion, for some reason, was this splintered part of the military. And so to come back to this movie, the fact that Poe introduces himself as Commander Poe Dameron of the New Republic fleet adds so much more mud to all this, because I'm like, wait a minute.
The Republic fleet got destroyed.
So I'm like, are you part of the New Republic or the Resistance? And why does the Resistance need to be the Resistance?
And half this movie, they're calling themselves rebels anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, if a New Republic existed and had a military opposing another military force, that's just being a military. It's not a resistance. A resistance is, like a militia that's banded together like the rebels. While this isn't entirely this movie's fault, it does carry forward a frustrating torch from The Force Awakens where I'm like, I wish that this was cleared up a little better.
A little bit of an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
how much more interesting would that be if this movie was more about the rebellion being reborn?
Oh, yes.
Rather than it already kind of existing in the last movie. So there you go. That's Poe Dameron. And it does set up his arc well for the rest of the movie. The conflict with Leia and later Holdo about his position in the fleet being a hothead is actually, I think, kind of an important story to tell.
It's nice because it's giving him more than just the idea, too, of being a good pilot. Because that's literally all he has in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
He's a good friend, a good pilot. So it is nice that he's kind of getting this like arc about what it means to be a leader and being like truly earning that commander status.
Right. The same thing that Lucas did in Empire Strikes Back with Luke Skywalker. The most interesting aspect of Luke and Empire, in my opinion, is it says, hey, all those special powers that made you succeed in the last movie, guess what? They're going to be a hindrance in this movie.
Yeah.
You have to learn to control them. You have to learn to grow and become better. Here, Poe Dameron, man, he's a hot shot in the last movie.
Yeah.
He's winning battles and he's, an asset.
Yes.
Here, that's getting him in trouble. It's not only getting him in trouble, it's getting people killed.
And I do like the fact that this movie does cover that. Before this, all we ever have gotten was like many Bothans died to bring us this information. Like this movie really focuses on the fact that people are dying.
And man, rebels die left and right in this movie all the time. So there's Poe Dameron.
Yes.
Right after this, we get the introduction of another one of our Force Awakens heroes.
The Finn?
The Finn. Right here.
Yes.
And I really liked Finn in the last movie. His sacrificial stand against Kylo Ren where he nearly lost his life. Where's he going to go in this movie?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Again. So strange.
He's just going to be played for laughs. I hope this isn't the whole movie.
I know. So strange.
It is unfortunate. And I'm not going to put the audience through playing this whole scene, but essentially he gets up and you know what happens? He starts leaking everywhere. Poe makes a joke about it. And then he's just used to transition us into Rey. Which, don't get me wrong, it does in a small way set up one of his primary character motivations, which is his relationship with Rey.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yes.
But this is all he's given for this first scene. Finn is maybe one of the most frustrating aspects of this movie. And that's because, like a lot of characters, Ryan has to tear him down in order to build him back up. What's the first thing he does? Okay, he's looking for Rey. Okay. Visually, he's treated as a gag, but okay, he's looking for Rey. Noble cause. Next scene, he's trying to escape because he finds the binary signal beacon, whatever that's called.
From Leia.
From Leia. And he is trying to escape. Rose is like, you're a deserter, electrocutes him, whatever. He says, this fleet is doomed. We can't outrun the First Order fleet. And I'm like, is that not what you were doing in the last movie, is trying to run?
In his defense, though, I think that he's really thinking about Rey more than anything. Like, I don't know. I think he's just saying that because he's trying to get her to be like, hey, I don't want my friend to come back here because I don't want her to come back into trouble.
Now, if that was his only motivation, I'm with you.
Yes.
And that's such an easy fix, in my opinion. In my view, what would have been a better story arc is Finn actually mentoring Rose rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, we just saw Finn go through a character arc. We just saw him go through this this trauma. I mean, he's a past stormtrooper. He wanted to run from the First Order, and now he's facing the First Order in Kylo Ren at the end of the last movie, and that's how he gets hurt.
The idea that enough time has passed now that he's known as the Finn to the Resistance, which is really interesting.
It's a little weird, makes me question time a little bit. It's like, how much
true.
time has really passed in Starkiller?
You can't really question time in Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back doesn't make any sense. You just have to let it go.
Well, I mean, in this movie, it's like, okay, Rey is clearly on Octo for a few days at least, but yet they're running out of fuel right away. So it's like, how much time passes in this movie? How much time passed from the last movie? I mean, with Rey, it's moments, but then maybe there's more time with Starkiller Base. I have no
as
idea.
we kind of said at the top too, I feel like that the other movies around The Last Jedi suffer, but gosh darn it, Ryan got to tell the story he wanted to tell.
He did.
Yes.
He sure did.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a moment when we get to Luke.
Yes.
But to finish out with Finn here, I get frustrated because He was such a promising character in the last movie, and I feel like now we got to get through his same character arc again about not running. And he's constantly getting distracted by other things. When I get to Canto Bight, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but again, I think it's an easy fix. I think you just make his primary motivation here about saving Rey so that they can join the fight together. And Rose is just, I don't know how to describe her other than she's a tryhard. She's just so morally superior.
She's very Jiminy Cricket, like sitting on Finn's shoulder and just being like, nah, we need to do this.
Right.
No, we should do this. And a lot of the issues with Finn could have really, for me at least, could have been fixed. Is I really wish that they would have like leaned into the idea, and he kind of has it here. He has a knowledge of all the First Order stuff, and it's like he only kind of partially knows everything. In which you can say like, oh, he was a janitor and stuff like that. But I'm like, well, you kind of made it seem like that any stormtrooper could kind of like come in and fill in that slot because they're all like flash taught stuff.
Yeah,
because the idea of a turned stormtrooper. Oh, cool. You should have the insight on everything that they do.
There's so much potential there, and it's barely utilized in any of these movies, and it's incredibly frustrating. It's just one of those things. Again, I don't know. This is such an easy thing, especially with the story he wanted to tell, but he had to work in Rose. Like, man, omit Rose or at least change that power dynamic.
Or at least make it equal.
Yeah.
Where they're teaching each other. Yes, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, because she has, I mean, essentially no flaws at all in this movie. Holdo is the same way, in my opinion. We'll get to Holdo more in Act 2. But Holdo, I think, is another Ryan OC that's just here to lecture our heroes and, by extension, us.
At the same time, tear them down so then they can rise up. And
Exactly.
and it's that whole idea of that, like, master and apprentices, and then, like, also, like, leader, like, how to become leaders within the resistance.
And so Ryan, I don't think, actually exploits our characters' flaws in order to make them grow. He gives them old flaws that they've already overcome so that he can make them grow in his own way.
Yeah.
And that's what's ultimately so dichotomous. Again, back to the two wolves, when you get back to the end of this movie, I think you get a lot of feel good stuff. We're like, man, all of our characters really grew and they all learned a lesson. But when you come back to this Act 1, it's like the movie does a good job of kind of making you forget a lot of this Act 1. And it leaves a sour taste in your mouth that's kind of hard to get out by the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant in the room time. There's a couple more characters that are introduced here in Act 1.
Yes. In fact, Finn does a good job of introducing them.
We're back on Octo.
Yeah.
We're back to where we were left in the last movie.
Yes.
About to see Jedi Master Luke Skywalker for the first time, really, in 30 years. Everybody was in the same place in that theater going into this moment like, oh, man.
What's he got to say when he gets this thing?
Happen?
Yeah.
Give me a second. So I'm going to talk about this. We got to just...
You gonna be all right?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this moment. That's all. That's all. Just really excited.
Oh, okay.
Just because Luke's my guy.
Yeah.
He's like one of my, if not my favorite character in all of Star Wars.
He is his guy.
This is good, by the way. It's nice sparkling grape juice. Hey, I actually got something for you back there.
Yeah. Oh, well, would you look at that? Little name drop.
Cerveza Crista.
Yes.
Didn't expect that.
No. You did not expect that.
Ha.
Yeah.
Let's just play the clip and then we'll talk about it because you guys all know what we're about to say.
Yes.
Oh boy, you remember where you were in this moment?
I do.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know how they teased this, you know, like a year and a half before when they started filming on Skellig Michael.
Yep.
The music's swelling.
That shot was in the trailer of him holding the lightsaber.
Yeah,
and you're
you
like,
were
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what this movie's going to be. There's so much to say here. And this is what a lot of people, their issues with this movie is with Luke Skywalker. I will say, by the end of the movie, I actually kind of like a lot about what this movie does with Luke. Like, this is the moment from The Force Awakens, and it's the literal passing of the baton from JJ to Ryan. And he says, nah, I'm going to tell my own thing. You know that thing that was really important in the last movie? You know that moment that was so important in the last movie? It fueled 2 years of speculation. What's going to happen now that Rey is on this island? And what's going to happen when Luke gets handed this lightsaber? Oh, we're going to play it off as a joke because we got better things to do. What a bummer. What a bummer way to start your movie.
Well, I think what hurts this even more is that everybody we've been introduced to so far has had like a silly moment. I think that this is like the straw that broke the back.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, where it's like, are you kidding me? Poe and Hux, it was kind of silly. Poe and Finn was kind of silly. Now this, okay.
Yeah.
This now really feels different than the Force Awakens.
It's really hard to talk about this because it's like, where do you begin? I think you have to first understand the collective disappointment of all the fans who came into this movie after that 2 years of hype and speculation. Was it on us that we didn't get what we all thought we were going to get? Maybe a little bit. But at the same time, no. The last movie really set this moment up.
Oh, yeah. Well, we said earlier, trailers and stuff like that was setting it all up.
Ryan is trying to borrow a quote, which I'll probably borrow a few throughout this video, from So Uncivilized, one of my favorite, I think the best video essay YouTuber out there. Has a video on the sequel trilogy. Highly recommend it. But he makes a great point that says that when Lucas is subverting expectations, you know, the quote that's often associated with this film, he'll take something and make it more important than you previously thought, which I think is really interesting. Whereas in this movie, Ryan takes things that you think are important and says, actually, these aren't important.
Yeah.
Luke's lightsaber, Luke himself, Rey, she's a nobody, right? And that's what he uses to kind of reframe and kind of pats himself on the back in the process. Introducing Luke Skywalker this way really makes you scratch your head, saying, what is he doing that for? And the fact that it's played as a gag is, I think, even more offensive than throwing it away in general, because I think that that's fine. It's not that he throws it. That's not it. It's that it's played as a gag. That's what really frustrates me. And I've heard people argue, because we had this moment, and at least in my top 10 worst moments in Star Wars, on that video that we made, and somebody commented, I never saw that as a gag. And I don't know how you look at that anyway, other than it being a shock value at the very least, a gag at most. Mm-hmm. The music swells and then immediately cuts off very sharply to just some ambience. You hear some like birds chirping, and then he just
walks away.
He just walks away.
Yep.
I don't know how you view that as anything other than a gag. Like I said, at best, it's just for shock value. And it's just to set you up for the story Ryan wanted to tell. And I just don't think that that was necessary. Now, granted, I've grown to really appreciate Luke's arc in this film. I think that we reach truly great heights with this character by the end, but this is just too much. It's such a slap in the face at the opening of the movie. And, you know, I don't think that these are mutually exclusive. I think you can have an interesting narrative arc for Luke Skywalker and not have a terrible introduction that leaves the audience with a taste in their mouth so sour that you don't want to finish the meal. I just don't like, because I hear people say this all the time, like, but Luke has such a great arc in this movie. I would agree with you, but it didn't need to start here.
No. Although you can say that with every scene after this one, it just gets better with Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he just showed us the lowest of the low.
Right.
Before then.
Yeah. And do you think that was wise?
I think that it definitely recontextualizes the character, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the high is really good at the end.
In keeping with just Luke, I want to go to another moment that actually frustrates me a little bit more than this one. And I think that it is the perfect little vignette for all of my issues with Ryan as a creative when it comes to this movie. So Luke walks away from Rey. Here's the next moment we see Luke Skywalker. The first words you hear out of Luke Skywalker's mouth after 30 years, this person who was a hero, a household name, a myth, a legend, not just in Star Wars, but in your living room.
Pop culture, if you will.
The first thing he tells the audience, really, and Rey, go away. But it's not that even that moment. Ryan goes out of his way to change Luke Skywalker's outfit because he didn't like what JJ set up so much that he couldn't even be wearing the same clothes. That boggles my mind as a creative person. Little peek behind the curtain. If you watched our Hunt for Ben Solo video, you know that was done in kind of a noir style. I had intended to carry that into this series. It was Seth's idea to do this 80s Miami Vice theme. So imagine you, the audience, watched last episode, the Force Awakens video, and in this episode, it's all in black and white. We're wearing trench coats, all that stuff. But I did it even without telling Seth. You know, you probably wouldn't feel too good about that, right?
Yeah. It kind of bummed me out.
Yeah. And maybe you would still enjoy it. Maybe you're like, that kind of sounds fun and noir style. And yeah, maybe it would have been. But the truth, the fact of the matter is, we ran with Seth's idea in the first episode, and we're here, and we should carry it forward for nothing else other than consistency. But to do that to a fellow creative, I think is so incredibly jarring. And I don't care what they say behind the scenes or in interviews and stuff like that. JJ does the same thing back to Ryan in the next movie. There was clearly some irritation involved.
Yes, there was animosity.
So even regardless of what my feelings are on The Last Jedi and a lot of the story arcs a lot of our characters go on, this decision right here feels so mean-spirited. Or mean-spirited's not the right word. Just so, what is even the word that I'm looking for?
Standoffish. I think.
Arrogant, perhaps.
Yeah.
Is the word I might be looking for. You remember seeing that at the end of The Force Awakens, and like I said it in the last video, he looks awesome in that Jedi robe.
Yeah.
But Ryan can't have him in a Jedi robe because he's actually cut off from the Force. So, and Ryan even had to ask JJ to change some other things about the end of The Last Jedi to make his story work.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have two wolves in me, is because on its own, I think this is fine. But to carry it from the last movie and this be one of the first things you have to show your audience because you don't even like the clothes the character was wearing. Yeah, I think I don't think that's the right move as a creative person. I'll be honest. I think that Rian Johnson has a lot of talent as a filmmaker.
Again,
but he's a very selfish one.
The other movies suffer because Ryan took so many he changed so much to make sure that his story was told. This was just one of my thoughts that always comes back to me. Like he seems to have gotten really good at it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, how do you think he got that fish?
We know he didn't use the Force.
No, I know. These are the real questions. Because you think that he stabbed it and pulled it all the way up?
Probably.
That's wild. Just to think about.
It's a heavy fish.
It's a big fish. I mean, it's a big fish. It's a big stick. It's just something to think about. Anyway, I don't know. You're asking the real questions. But I'm just like that. This is the kind of stuff that I'm on a rewatch. I'm like, it's a big fish.
Inside Beyond the Dune Sea, there are two wolves.
That is true.
Someone who asks why Luke acts the way he does. Someone who asks how he gets a big old fish.
How do you get a big old fish? That's crazy. He grew on it's crazy that he even likes fish. He grew up on a planet that's full of sand.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. Subverting our expectations.
But you know what? This isn't the only scene we get with Luke Skywalker in this. We get a really nice moment in the tree.
Yes. And again, as I said, it's almost as if every scene, if you keep going, it gets better and better.
But you also get the moment here where he says, like, I came to this island to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, real quick, I want to contrast Luke with Yoda and Obi-Wan, because a lot of people do that. They say, but wait a minute, Obi-Wan and Yoda did the same thing, and we all like Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Oh, that they exiled themselves?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of this comes down to attitude, in my opinion. Luke's not acting the way that I would expect Luke to act.
Mm-hmm.
Picture Obi-Wan and Yoda both have a relatively small part to play in their respective trilogies.
Yeah.
Not the prequels, the OT, and have amazing all-timer moments. But that doesn't come at the expense of their character or attitude. Yoda is reluctant to teach Luke because Luke is reckless. It's not because Yoda doesn't want to. Obi-Wan failed worse than Luke, and yet he happily jumps at the chance to get back in the fight. In fact, he's a little whimsical about it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand Luke's story here is different, but his attitude didn't need to be. Mm-hmm. And we get glimpses of it in the tree scene.
Yes, because he seems like the old Luke.
Yeah, he seems like he's
talking about stuff.
To emphasize my point about attitude when it comes to Luke Skywalker, I want to point to his final scene in the end of Act 2.
You mean Act 1?
Yep. It's this scene right here where he boards the Falcon.
It's awesome.
In what is our first, what I like to call like Star Wars goodness, like classic Star Wars goodness.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the most frustrating about this is it's clear that Ryan knows how to write scenes like this.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of these in this movie. There's actually more than a couple.
Yeah.
And all of them are excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All-timer moments. And it's just crazy how few and far between they are. I'm reluctant to say it's because we have to earn them, because I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Some of them do need to be earned. Just so much had to be torn down in order to get a moment like this. But watch his attitude here as he talks to R2.
R2 hiding in the corner.
He's chuckling and smiling.
Yeah.
And it'd be a little silly.
Yeah.
You know, like that's Luke.
Mhm.
That's the guy I remember.
Yeah.
You know, having a little bit of fun, but he'll say in a moment, like, you know, you can't convince me to come back. I would totally buy Luke's arc here if it was more framed as he's on this holy quest. Like, hey, I couldn't stop myself from going to rescue my friends in Empire. I didn't heed Yoda's lesson. I'm trying to embody those teachings now better than I did then.
Yeah.
And so that means that the most selfless thing I can do is actually remove myself and the Jedi from this cyclical violence that has befallen the galaxy. And in a lot of ways, I really respect that.
Yeah.
But play it off as that holy quest rather than like, go away. I don't want to get out of my island. I came here to die.
And I think too that like they're trying to really go off that whole fact that, you know, we'll get into Act 2 with the vision and everything like that. But he's the reason why he's exiled himself too, where it's like, oh no, I'm trying to, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy and everything like that. Yeah, that's why I've come here.
And you do get a great kind of button on that arc when we get to Yoda later. And that's awesome. I just wish that the movie, instead of tearing down Luke so much, show me he's on this holy quest and he truly feels this is what's best for the galaxy.
Yeah.
In the attitude of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Rather than feeling like a curmudgeon-y loser who's depressed and suicidal on this island. Because I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not Luke to me.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
do you
this is a
agree
great
though?
scene.
That like every scene it's getting a little bit better. And I do
For the
like
most
that
part, yeah.
it's R2 that kind of like gets him out of his funk and that he's going. I love that like in this R2 gets him out of his funk to teach Rey. Then Leia's the thing that almost convinces him to come back.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. That he's slowly building up through this movie.
Totally. I totally agree with you.
Mhm.
Yeah. It just feels like,
Oh, no.
I don't want to keep belaboring the point, but it's
We
like,
had to drag him through the mud and it's frustrating.
yeah, like you got served a really nice burger at the end of TFA and you're
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you come back and you get served the same burger with a big old boot print on it. And you're
Yeah.
like, but why'd you do that? And you're
Yeah.
like, well, hold on here. And then, you know, they fix it for you. And like, you appreciate that they fixed it, but it's like, but why'd you step on it to start with?
Yeah.
It was fine before.
To make you appreciate this one even more.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's like, I do appreciate it more, but I feel like you didn't have to do that, you know? So we're the one character we haven't talked about, or two that we haven't talked about in Act 1 being Rey. And that's because I actually don't think she has much of a character to start with.
Not really. She's just kind of there. It's really interesting. This movie, like, she goes to hang out with Luke, then she goes to hang out with Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting how this movie handles her.
Well, in the first scene, I think that she's very bland. Like,
Kind of wooden.
hi, I'm your sister Leia sent me. I'm with the Resistance, and I know Daisy Ridley's more talented than that. And then when you hear her in the next scene, she's like, "There's no light left in Kylo Ren. That's why you have to come with us and get back in the fight." And Luke's like, "What did you think is going to happen here?" And I'm like, I'm not hearing anything about what Rey wants. Now, granted, that's kind of the point of the tree scene.
Yes.
Is Luke is like, "Who are you?" But it does take a while to get there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And-
yes.
Like everything else, I feel like I feel like Rey's character had to suffer in order to get a nice payoff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did she have to be so bland? And like, that's not, man, she's charming in the first movie.
Yeah.
And she's very childlike, and you would think she'd have a different reaction to seeing Luke, especially see Luke act the way he does.
Oh, definitely.
So she doesn't have too much of a character to start with, but
No.
at the end of this act is when Luke agrees to train her, and then we get more with her in Act 2.
It is interesting, too, that like the fact that I do like the rhyming with like, you know, what do you think? It's going to be lifting rocks? Then what she have to do at the end of the movie.
Yeah, same thing with what'd you think? I was going to walk out with a laser sword and face down the whole first
And then
order.
look what ends up happening. Another thing I do like, too, is I love the mirroring shot when Luke decides that he's going to train Rey. It mirrors the shot of him standing over Kylo Ren.
Yes. and
Yes,
that-
and it's just like
Sometimes he cooks.
I was gonna say that there is some really good stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
Two wolves, literally, because I'm like, this is good filmmaking. It really is, but at what cost?
Speaking of good filmmaking.
Where's on?
Oh, we got one more character to talk about, and that is Kylo Ren. I would be remiss if I didn't mention there's a deleted scene that's supposed to go right there, and that is Luke mourning Han Solo's death. I will not belabor the point. I just think that was a missed opportunity to cut it. However, with that,
That's awesome.
you wouldn't have this cut.
Yes,
Really good cut.
It is.
And now you get the introduction of Snoke, what's going on with him, and this is the best part of the movie. Kylo
Yes.
Ren.
I want to know how much he's in this movie because it can't be very much. He's hardly in it.
You know what? Darth Vader's barely in the original trilogy.
I know. He's like in there for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
Which
So-
maybe Ryan's going with that. That's one of the things that he does decide to rhyme with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, rather than some of the glaring things he chooses to ignore.
Right. We've been kind of criticizing Ryan for how he picks up the baton that JJ passed him.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren is the thing he takes forward in an amazing way.
Yeah, he still punks him in this. Like he gets force lightninged.
In this case, I think it works. It doesn't come at the it's not providing old flaws back to Kylo. It's not tearing him down.
Yeah.
It's carrying forward, hey, you lost on Starkiller Base. Why did you lose? And it emphasizes the entire point of the character from the last movie, him being no Vader. Snoke straight up tells him that you are no Vader. You're just a child in a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that will propel Kylo this entire movie of trying to get away from that fact. And so in that way, I think the movie is quite successful because it's carrying in a natural way from the last movie. And in Force Awakens, Kylo Ren is trying real hard to be Vader Jr.
Oh, yes.
And at the end, he gets his butt handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Snoke's like, hey, maybe it's because you're not Vader after all, buddy. You got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
Kylo has to deal with that. And I think it has amazing payoffs as the story goes forward.
Also, I want to point out, I love the set design.
Amazing.
His whole bridge or whatever you want to call it, his throne room is so cool looking.
It's great. And I
love all these like weird little guys. Like, did you notice the people back here working? You can see their eyes glowing blue and stuff like that. You'll see it when he gets closer to them. There's like guys in hoods that are working on this stuff and their eyes are glowing blue. And it's like, dude, what's that about?
reminds me of Palpatine's groupies from R2.
Totally. That is exactly what it is. Also, I love that. I'm
their
happy
dynamic.
I'm happy they kept that dynamic. Okay. There is something glaring that I want us to talk about though. Do you guys, we've argued about it behind the scenes. I call it the great helmet debate. Do you think that Ryan changed the sound of Kylo's voice in the helmet?
No.
I think he did. I think he's so much easier to understand.
In The Force Awakens?
In The Force Awakens, yes. Pull out the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dial up the distortion a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he dialed up the distortion a bunch because he immediately goes, take that off. And it's like, I could feel like it's to the audience too, that they're like, man, I can't understand what he's saying. Oh, thanks for taking it off. And I now know what he's saying. And it's like, I swear, listen to him. He sounds goofy.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's more distortion. I don't know.
Insane. I've dubbed this the great helmet debate. You'll have to let us know what you think because it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Honestly, I'm curious. What do you think about this? Because we've talked about it, and I want to know. Like, do you think that this is a hindrance to the movie? Do you think that this is a slap in the face, kind of like how the other things have been, where it's like, oh, I'm changing something.
It does feel when you bunch it up with everything else like it's just another thing that another one of JJ's toys that Ryan broke.
Yeah.
But here it fits perfectly in line with the character.
Yes.
Where he's, like I said, he's trying to distance himself from being Vader. And so he's going to break his mask.
Mm-hmm. And then in lore, did you know that the mask is supposed to hinder the light?
Oh, really? No,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that it's supposed to kind of like help him focus his dark side energies and stuff like that.
Kind of like chimeras.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I thought that chimeras like pushes everybody out. So then he can't be. Yeah. So I guess kind of. Yeah. But anyway, I just think that that's kind of neat. And then too, I think that's awesome use of the music because the last time we really heard this music was when Kylo Ren's command shuttle's coming down. And this now it's just like a shattered helmet.
Yeah.
Do we think that we should go to the next Kylo Ren scene?
Absolutely.
A really good scene. You want me to do it?
Yeah,
the
go
honors?
ahead.
Okay.
And that is Kylo Ren facing off against the Resistance. Which we find out that, oh my gosh, they have light speed tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's pretty dangerous. That's a cool piece of lore.
It is.
I like that.
Then also, if you want to know the other thing too with this scene that drives me nuts, but I guess I had to do a bunch of research on it. Shielding in Star Wars, it really just depends on who's writing the story. The fact that Kylo Ren was able to get inside the shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that's like, it's all right for me. It doesn't bother me.
It's weird thinking about.
Yeah. I like that Kylo Ren in his first scene, as we just said, is set up as trying to abandon his association with Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And killing Han Solo split his spirit to the bone.
Yeah.
He is unbalanced. And we get now to this scene where he's supposed to be like, all right, gonna get my mojo back. But
he can't.
Mom's there.
He can't do it.
And he can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you know what? that whole being pulled to the light problem that Kylo Ren has, he's not past it.
Nope.
It's done beautifully with the fades between Leia and Kylo Ren and the
Yeah.
fact that he actually can't pull the trigger.
No, but his buddies do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here, you know what? I'm going to hit you with a hot take.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
Leia gets blown up along with Admiral Akbar, RIP to a legend. What the
Yes.
heck? And then this scene happens.
Mm-hmm.
People like to call this the Leia Mary Poppins scene.
Yes.
Gonna hit you with some cold water.
All right.
Sports fans, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I like this. I don't know why this is so hated.
One, this movie came out so close to Guardians of the Galaxy. Mary Poppins, y'all. Yeah, but this doesn't bother me that much.
Nice little piece of foreshadowing right here.
This is true.
Cutting the supremacy in half.
Man, what's going to happen with that?
I like this. I like, first of all, the conflict it sets up within Kylo and his role in this event, showing Leia's proficiency with the Force because she is a Skywalker after all. Now with the rest of the material we've gotten, I kind of like what this means as she trained as a Jedi for a little bit. She's got some Force affinity.
It does show that Luke can be a good teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's the one that trained her.
I don't know. Maybe you think it looks silly. I don't. I think this is pretty cool. I think this movie does Leia really well. It's one of my favorite Leia movies. I love the character arc that she gets here. Real life events are really unfortunate.
Didn't help this movie.
I still mourn that from what happened. I mean, for a lot of reasons, not just because we didn't get our silly space movies, but our silly space movies do mean a lot, and Leia means a lot to a lot of people, myself included. And I love that she gets a really good movie here as her final movie. So don't know why people hate this scene. I think it's fine. So there you go, guys. That's Act 1. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, everybody's being a goof.
I'm about ready to cuff it.
I was going to say, we're real low. Let's see if maybe we can pull ourselves out of the dark side cave on Octo. Yeah.
You know what? There's more to the story.
It's true.
Let's get down to the casino of Canto Bight.
Ooh.
And see what more this has to offer in Act 2.
That's it. I've had enough. Last Jedi, going in cuffs.
Hold up. What's the charges?
Drunkenly stumbling around in Act 2, gambling away the audience's attention in Canto Bight, character assassinating Luke Skywalker, kind of like Luke Skywalker does to Ben Solo, not to mention the galaxy-sized plot hole left by the Holdo maneuver.
Or it's a movie that takes risks. Kylo and Rey's Force connection, it's fresh. The throne room fight, messy but electric.
Yeah, you know what? It's not enough, okay? And look, right there, meeting somebody. You'll see. You'll see who we meeting. We're... No. Yeah, that's illegal. You can't.
Are you smiling?
No.
Oh.
I'm not. One more chance, but they pull one more Canto Bight.
We're back with Act 2, guys, and the movie does get better, but it takes a while to get there. Another issue people have with this film is Canto Bight. Thoughts on Canto Bight?
I don't think I'd want to hang out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Especially me being a member of the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Officer of the court.
Exactly. I don't. It seems a little shady.
Yeah.
For my liking.
So we'll start off again with Finn and Finn and Rose on Canto Bight. And it starts here in the scene with Poe where they're trying to do this. They're trying to find the master code breaker. And I'll admit, the scene with Maz is kind of out of nowhere.
At this point, I'm surprised that he didn't just put in a different character.
With how much Ryan clearly has changed so much, it is so weird.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, but this is the thing that you felt obligated. I don't know if maybe it was a contractual thing.
Maybe.
Like, Lupita Nyong'o, is that how you say her name?
I don't know.
Plays Maz Kanata.
Yeah.
Kanata, maybe that's it. She
Yeah.
just had to be in the movie.
Yeah.
It feels kind of out of nowhere because it's like, Poe, I know you came and saved everybody on Takadana, but you didn't talk to her. Maybe it was Finn's idea. I don't know. It just, her cameo kind of feels out of nowhere.
I think her character seems kind of off too, a little bit from how it was in The Force Awakens.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
She's just,
well, she said it's a union dispute.
Yeah.
She runs a bar. What's happening?
It's a cute little Star Wars-y moment that feels right at home in The Force Awakens, and that's why it feels so jarring here.
It's true.
I'll admit I didn't hate this as much as I did originally.
Really?
I think this is just whatever.
Yeah.
I don't love it. It's probably my least favorite. not least favorite. It's the least interesting thing the movie has going on.
Of the 3 storylines, it's easily the least interesting.
Mostly because of how this movie deals so much with time and time constraints. Like, we only have so much time. This feels like a side quest within a side quest.
Yes.
I'm like, what do we do? It's so important that we need to help the resistance. Yet Finn, very uncharacteristically, is like kind of, vibing here.
Yeah.
And Rose keeps having to be like, hey, we got a job to do. Come on, let's get to it.
Here, let's stop and watch the horse race.
Yeah, and talk about how bad war is.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, Rose. We know war is bad. In fact, I think Finn, the ex-stormtrooper, might know a thing or two about how bad war is.
Yeah.
Appreciate you lecturing us on that. And then the father years, it's like, this is fine, but don't we have stuff to do? Like, what a weird little just side quest. And the father years don't look great. That chase is easily the worst looking part of this movie.
Yeah. Besides maybe the Rey lifting rocks. That shot's rough too. At the end.
I don't have a ton to say about Canto Bight other than it feels incredibly inconsequential.
My biggest gripe with this movie is the Canto Bight.
Something
that happens here is the fact that it's right at the beginning of this where you hear Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character going, well, I told them not to park there and they parked there anyway. And it's like, okay, so that's going to be a problem later. And that's the big problem here is they couldn't find parking.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? These guys can figure out that the Star Destroyers using the hyperspace, they got a whole plan. They got this all figured out, but man, we can't find a handicap spot to park in or something like that. That's crazy to me. That's the best writing that you got.
Yeah, the menu for The Last Jedi includes option number 1, running out of gas. No, you don't like that? Okay, parking spot disputes.
At least at the same time, they say, hey, forget it. Let's just get up there. That they don't have any supplies or anything when they leave. That the First Order at least destroys all their supplies. So like as they're taking off, they just don't have anything. So I could buy that, I guess. But like here again, really?
I just meant more that weird. Like it's that's all you got, Ryan. For that's episode 8 of these are supposed to be a big deal. Like we can screw around in Clone Wars because there's like 1,000 episodes.
It does feel a little bit more like Star Trek or like a Star Wars television show.
Yeah, but it's just wasted real estate. I just don't think you could have both. It's like the movie could either be about running out of gas and this is a huge problem, or we could screw around in a casino.
Yeah, it's true.
It's odd, especially when Finn's whole quest is about helping the people who are running out of gas.
It's true.
This was a bit of a miss. I don't like DJ's character. He comes in later. It is so inconsequential. And I know that that's not the point sometimes to stories. Sometimes it's about all of this. His whole side quest means nothing. In fact,
the fact that it didn't work or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they don't find the code breaker. They just leave with this random dude who's like, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's like they just believe him on face value.
And then the other thing though too is that they tell them their plan.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? Because that's literally a blink and you miss it because they're talking about Finn let slip that they're going to get on the little transports.
Yeah.
And you see, like, Ryan does show it. It is good filmmaking because I missed it the first time. It shows DJ he looks up at that and then looks back down. So he knows to look for that now.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets out. But it's just kind of like, my goodness, man. It's almost like just a lot of happenstance happening here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like this whole side, this is a third of the movie.
Yeah.
And it feels so inconsequential to everybody. Like, I don't think there's any character arcs going on. Well, it hurts our main characters.
Finn gets a baby one at the very end of this.
Yeah, where he gets to fight Phasma.
Yeah, where he gets to fight Phasma.
Another thing where it's like she comes in at the 11th hour.
It's true. And it's annoying because I'm like, how hard would it have been to just put her on the bridge of Hux's ship in the beginning? And
it's another one of those things, kind of like Maz Kanata. It's like, really? This is the thing that now you're like, this is the one that you chose. Nah, with that thing from Force Awakens, it's got to be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is how we're going to represent that thing from Force Awakens.
It's like another villain 2/3 into the movie that now Finn, he gets to fight her and he wins, but
he at least through that learns that, that he's not going to fight for just himself and Rey. Now he's going to fight for the rebellion as a whole. So I do like that, rebel scum. That's a good moment. That's a good fight. Like the cool. I like that he gets to use the weapon that Traitor was using in the last movie. The stun baton. I don't know, whatever you call it. The riot baton. Sorry.
I just mean that we had to pull out this old villain from the last movie.
Yeah.
And just because we didn't have anybody else for Finn to fight.
Yeah.
He needed to fight somebody in order to have that moment.
Yeah.
So let's pull this out of nowhere, literally from nowhere. It's like, okay, she survived that. Got it. Okay. And now she just dies again.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of mental whiplash by the time you get to the supremacy with him. And I'm like, it's by far the least interesting thing this whole arc with Finn and Rose.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It doesn't, because nothing comes of it. Yeah, we get a little bit of character work with Finn, but as we keep saying throughout the whole movie, at what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost?
And I will say, not a fan of BB-8 driving around in ATST.
Yeah, that's this is the real sin of this movie is giving BB-8 a bad scene. I can handle you hurting Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
You leave BB-8 alone.
You leave BB-8 alone.
Yeah.
So next up, we have to talk about Luke's character arc. He goes through in Act 2 because he does go through some significant growth here.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And here we have Luke's 3 lessons, which
really it's 2.
I'm having a good time. I think that his lesson to Rey about how the Force does not belong to the Jedi is excellent. And it's what I would expect from Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Banger stuff.
And I like too that he walks away from her because he's like, oh my gosh, this raw power with Kylo Ren. You walked right to the darkness.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Is that all I can do? Is just teach people how to fall? So I can see that, like, that he's scared of everything. He's kind of off his mojo a little bit.
No, I completely agree.
Yes.
I completely agree.
So I honestly think that the further you get into this movie, the better it gets with him. Like every scene is just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better.
Yeah. This
scene's great too, even though he's just standing there. He's not doing much, but I think that
I think he's seeing the hope.
Yes.
Maybe things could change.
Yeah.
Maybe things are all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this, which I love this transition, where lesson 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi are romanticized, deified. If you strip away the
Cinematography here,
Yes.
crushing it. Mark's performance, crushing it.
Yes. Nice little Darth Sidious shout out.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Here, let's listen to it.
they allowed Darth Sidious to rise, create the Empire, and wipe them out. He was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader.
There's just something about Luke Skywalker mentioning the name Darth Sidious that just tickles something in the old Star Wars noodle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you. I think it's neat just because it references like Darth Sidious. That's not an OT reference.
No,
that is a prequel reference, and it's pretty fun. Because let's be honest, the last movie did not reference the prequels very much.
I sure didn't, aside from the little clone army snub that Kylo throws Hux's way at the beginning.
Yes.
It's unfortunate it took this long in the movie to really get Luke's rationale behind his motives, because I completely can sympathize with his motives about why he has reserved himself or why he has exiled himself and removed himself from the fight. He feels truly it is the most selfless thing he could do because the history of the Jedi is failure. The legacy of the Jedi is failure. And this is the best choice that he can make. And I also can really appreciate how he gets caught up in his own legend. That's such a fun, fun maybe not the right word, but such an interesting comparison or contrast, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Such an interesting contrast between him and his father. His father very much bought into his own legend.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker very much, got high on their own supply.
Mm-hmm.
And to see Luke be the opposite, because Luke is in a lot of ways the opposite of his father. He takes the opposite lessons from a lot of the experiences of his life. And so this is very in line with Luke's character to say, like, hey, he's not arrogant. Mm-hmm. I'm not a legend. I don't want to be a legend. And maybe the fact that I am a legend is hurting the people around me. And I need to leave and exile myself to stop this violence that is befalling all my family. And here we get the first flashback to show the inciting incident of everything in the sequel trilogy.
Which is nice. So I think the last movie should have been about this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, rather than just being like 6 years later.
So this is the first one we see.
Yes.
And Luke is being very selective about what he's choosing to tell Rey.
Yes. I think he's really focusing on this part. Because this is the part that, notice this is the only time we get this part.
Well, this is what's in his mind. This is what has lingered.
And this is also a shot that we saw in The Force Awakens.
Yeah. I think the truth is somewhere between Rey, Luke, and Kylo. Because Rey rebukes Luke's claim that about the legacy of the Jedi. And she's like, "But you brought Darth Vader back."
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even acknowledge the point. Rey is definitely grating on Luke, and I think Luke is starting to see, like, maybe she's right.
Yeah.
I think in the novelization, it was one of the supplemental materials. It's I think with his conversation with R2, R2 reveals to him, like, "Hey, here's Rey's story. Notice how it's pretty close to yours. Orphan from a desert planet, strong with the Force." And Luke's like, that's when he starts to put a lot together. It's like, man, maybe the Force is trying to tell me something. I think there is a line, is either from the novelization of the comic, where he says, the Force demands to be heard. No matter how much I try to cut myself off from it, Rey being here is the Force telling me, get back up.
Time to get in the fight.
It's time to get in the fight. And you're right. He goes to, that I love that moment where he touches the stone and you see the vibrations of the water in the temple, and he contacts Leia, and you're like, dang, he's got some mojo, man.
It's true.
And you get
and think about that too, that, people were like, oh man, I just really wish I could have seen Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Well, guess what? Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is talking literally across the galaxy with people.
Yeah.
He's that powerful.
Oh no, you see some, like, you see Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Yes, it's true.
Takes a bit to get there.
Yes.
You have to have some heartbreak in order to get there.
Yes.
But you do get him.
Yeah.
In fact, that's kind of the next point to Luke, is one of the next scenes you see. So this is right after Rey and Kylo's Force vision, which we'll get to those in a moment.
Yeah.
His conversation, or rather his connection with Leia, is like, I'm going to do this. We're going to go. And I very much think he's coming to this hut to say, all right, Rey, get in the Falcon.
We got to go.
It's time to go.
Yep. Because he's kind of running. It's weird that he's like, Rey! Like, it's like, well, does he sense what's going on? Because he is connected back to the Force.
So. Yeah. I think that's part of it too. He's just reconnected, and he's like, okay, but he senses something going on.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, it's his worst nightmare.
Yeah.
She's connecting with Kylo Ren. And now you get this little fight.
What's he doing here?
And I think this is kind of cool.
And I think it's cool. How did you notice that he panned in
and then pulled back and he's gone?
And he's gone. That it's like,
yeah. And now he's right back. He's had a bit of a character divulsion here. It's like, and you know what? All my fears were right. You almost got me.
Yep.
You almost got me. But no, you guys are wrong.
It's like you're no different than him. And this is crazy that she just hits him in the back of the head.
That is wild to me. I just can't. I don't know. I don't know that I buy that.
Well, but at the same time, though, if he's just hell-bent on, pardon my French, like that he's going to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe desperate times call for desperate measures. Like, she has to do something because she's been trying all day. Yes, this is cool.
He finally gets a little bit of a moment where he's like,
really like this,
I'm a master. Where he like
that,
bops her.
I don't like that he stops and just like does that. And it's just like, and I get it that he's defending or whatever, but it feels very much
I think he's being a little cocky.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what he's showing. It feels a little too Asian cinema.
Little Pirates of the Caribbean here. You cheated.
Pirate. Very much so. But I love the fact that he stops himself with the Force. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like now he's reconnected. It's like, oh, you've awakened the beast.
It's true.
And here we get what really happened.
Yes.
And this is where, again, we get another main complaint about these movies and about what it does to Luke Skywalker. Is this moment in character for Luke Skywalker? Well, let's watch and discuss.
Yeah. Ignite the green.
Ignite the green. Here's what I want to say about this moment, because you've heard me complain a lot this episode. I think that this is mostly fine. A lot of people will say, but wait a minute, Luke, this is the guy who in Return of the Jedi sees his father and decides not to kill him and throws his sword away.
Yeah. I think Luke saw more than just darkness.
Yeah.
I think he saw probably the death of his friends. He probably saw Starkiller Base blowing up stuff.
And that's why I defend this for the most part. I think it is perfectly human for Luke Skywalker to have a moment of weakness.
Yes.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
I do have one issue with this. I don't think he should have ignited the lightsaber. I think you could have had just as much. The scene could have remained exactly the same and had the same consequence if Luke just holds up his lightsaber and is like, gosh, what am I doing?
I think the fact that it's ignited makes Ben attack. That's the whole, I think that's why you got to do it.
I think that you could easily justify it where Ben looks over, sees him holding the lightsaber, is like, forget that, because he's already has darkness in his heart.
It's true.
I think he would still prompt him to attack. But to me, actually igniting the lightsaber is a step too far for Luke, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's like, you're not just holding the gun, you're cocking it too. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, that's maybe a step too far in what I believe it would be in line with Luke's moment of weakness.
Gotcha.
I think what Ryan is doing mostly with Luke is kind of reverse engineering the Force Awakens decision to exile him.
Yes. And I think, though, too, is he's also trying to mirror Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
well,
with this
all
moment.
of this, yes.
And
it's like
I
he's standing over.
And I appreciate this. I think this is fine. I think that this is a fine catalyst for Luke's decision making.
Yes.
Again, I have issues with his attitude. I have issues with the execution in the beginning of the movie, but this is perfectly fine for the catalyst of all these events to say that like this
Yes.
moment of weakness was enough, because really this isn't. I think people put too much on Luke in this. He says it here, Snoke had already turned Ben's heart. This was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes.
And Luke should not feel so guilty about this. Like, yeah, he made a mistake and he should own up to that mistake, but it's not his fault Ben turns.
It's true.
Ben was right there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that this is a moment where it's like, man, if Luke didn't do that, then Ben's just happy-go-lucky. You know, he's going to be the next Jedi Master.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that it was just a matter of time. This was just the moment that did it.
I completely agree.
We do have one more scene about Luke Skywalker in this act. Because Rey decides she's going to leave because Luke's not going to help.
Yep.
She's out of there. And Luke's like, you know what? Forget this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm burning down the tree.
Yep. Say how crazy now that he's reconnected himself to the Force.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Just to see his old master.
exactly. Look who's here to teach, because that's what masters do.
Yeah.
This whole movie is about that.
Yeah.
Is teaching the new generation,
Right.
or teaching even the old generation,
Yeah.
so they can teach the new generation. It's kind of wild.
This is a perfect moment. It's a perfect scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This stays in the back of my head. Even when I have moments where I really don't like this movie, I think about this scene and what a gift this scene is. And lest I be accused of just, oh, you just need the member berries. No, Yoda is such an important character to Luke's journey. And it is crucial for Yoda to be the one to give him the kick in the pants he needs to get back into it. Because Rey's not doing it, and
No.
she's not going to succeed in convincing Luke to get back on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
But Yoda can, because Yoda's gone through this before. Yoda's ultimate lesson, to pass on failure. And that's Yoda's lesson. Yoda also experienced failure and what in his experiences with the Jedi Order. And now he's trying to show Luke, like, hey, we are what they grow beyond. It's important. I am telling you this so that you can then pass that on.
Mm-hmm.
Serendipitously, perhaps, a really interesting interview that just came out recently with Rian Johnson as he's promoting his new Knives Out movie, and felt pretty in line with what we talk about here on the show.
Oh, really?
Ryan grew up Christian, and he said, well, growing up Christian and watching Star Wars, it was kind of impossible not to
See the
equate the
parallels.
two together. Yeah. He did say he was like trying to impart those values when he wrote Last Jedi, because I guess there's a big faith moment in the new Lives Out movie as well. And I really love that. And I think that's why this resonates with me so much. It's not because I got to see my old characters and any of that. It's I love the mystical, the faith side of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly because I make strong connections between that and my faith. We talk about that all the time on this show. And so Yoda coming back in this moment to guide Luke Skywalker, I think it's important that we shouldn't hide our failures and weaknesses. We need to pass on what we have learned so the next generation is better prepared for the challenges ahead. To fail is to be human. To sin is to be human. To share in that failure is to have community, and that's important. And it is important for your mentors to show you the way when you fail, because if they're only teaching you about their wins, hey, here's how you win. Here's how I won. Look where I'm at now.
I was going to say, you don't learn anything when you win.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I think you can learn some things, but I think you learn even more when you fail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Yoda's lesson. And I think that's our lesson too, is to say, hey, you can always pick yourself back up. And when you're teaching someone, if you become a mentor, pass on all that you have learned.
It's true.
I really respect that when Ryan does pull out these all-timer Star Wars moments, like these classic, let's get our characters back together. He doesn't just do it for lip service or fan service, even though I don't think that's a bad thing. He does it to actually say something.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this really kind of feels like Act 1, we got the R2 and Luke moment. And then Act 2, we got the Luke and Yoda moment.
And then in Act 3, we're going to get the Luke and Leia,
Leia moment, which is like, another thing that comes in threes.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's
When he
really,
cooks,
really
he
weird.
cooks.
Yes.
When he cooks, he cooks.
Yes. Gosh darn it. Sometimes those pizza rolls are in the air fryer.
They sure are. You know,
Yes.
speaking of air fried pizza rolls, we got to talk about
Are we going to talk about our boy?
Kylo and Rey.
Yes.
And their
Kylo Ren.
Force connection.
Dude, and I'm sorry, guys. In my humble opinion, this is the coolest concept from these movies. I remember just being blown away in the theater when this first happened. I think it's so interesting how they build. That's the other thing. Because, there you go.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I like this, and I think it's interesting. My wife and I were talking about this earlier, and I want to ask you what you think. In this, I'm like, do you think that they just see each other in a void? Or do you think that they can see their surroundings?
I think that he sees her in his surroundings. Just like,
so he sees her there, and she sees him there.
Yes.
They're not in a void or anything like that. That's what I'm getting at.
because there are moments like
I
later.
I know he straight up says that, like,
No,
I can't
I'm
see
not
you
saying
there.
that. I'm
Yeah.
saying that in later,
Yeah.
when
It's
he's in the
getting
hut,
Yes, it's
he's-
getting stronger and stronger.
he's
actually
physically in the
there.
hut.
Yeah.
I think that's what Rey sees and that's
Mm-hmm.
what Luke sees. But then in Tross, they're like actually kind of going in each other's environments.
Yes.
So I think they're existing in, you know,
They're like simultaneously existing in the same place. And I love too the foreshadow with this very first one that Kylo says, like, you're not doing this. The effort would kill you. What?
and that's what I was just about to say. I think that's all you need to know because
Yeah.
Luke is physically appearing kind of
He kind
on
of is.
Crait. And I
Yes.
think that's what's happening is Kylo is seeing Rey physically appear to him.
Yeah.
And just like Rey is seeing Kylo physically appear to her.
Yeah.
But no, this is excellent. And just the filmmaking here being so simple.
I was going to say.
The eye lines. That's it.
Yes.
Tross, don't get me wrong. I really like what Tross does.
Yes.
But Tross takes this and goes kind of crazy.
Yeah.
With the
I
visual
like how
effects
simple
and
this
stuff.
is. The fact that there's not a whole lot of talking. It's just the eye lines and everything. Like, this is so stinking cool.
Ryan just uses the medium of filmmaking to convince you about what's happening on screen. And that's pretty impressive because
Yes.
this is completely new.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of her introduction. How there's just so little, like, you just use the music, you use just her surroundings and how she's getting along with it to kind of just weave how you feel about this character. And with this, it just reminds me of that, where it's just like how awkward it is and how, like, oh my gosh, what is happening with this? It's awesome.
It's awesome. And
Absolutely awesome. And I love the fact too that it builds on itself. So with this one, all they can do is see each other. And then in the next one, they're passing water between each other.
Yeah.
They're passing the environment around themselves. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
It's
and then
super
and-
cool.
And I even like the brief moment of comedy the third time where she's like, I don't want to do this right now. And he's like, yeah, me neither.
Yeah, me neither.
Can you put a shirt on?
Yeah, like it's because it's just happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
shows how
awkward it
mundane.
is.
Yeah. How
Yes.
mundane it is. And it's really good.
What I want to know too is the fact, do you think that he left? Because she immediately goes to the cave after that conversation. Do you think he's with her in the cave? And we just don't see it. Because right after the cave, they're talking again and they're touching each other.
Right.
Yeah. So it makes me think that he saw the cave with her.
I don't know. It's a good question. I
'Cause
think we
that's
could
why-
probably take that either way.
Yeah. I also want to point out, since we're talking about it, I think that at about an hour 10:37, from then on out, this movie's pretty stinking good. Like about the halfway point,
Yeah.
I lose like almost all my qualms with it.
I completely
It's
agree with
really
you.
strange.
It's really just the Finn stuff that I'm like, we could skip this.
But even then, it's still decently exciting because
It's
that's
better.
like the Phasma stuff and like other things. I think I like the water one the best of their three like talks or whatever, just because it's like, oh, that's real weird.
I think my favorite is probably the last one where they're in the hut.
Yes.
I will admit that I do think their relationship jumps pretty quick.
But I think it's the fact that they're both so alone and they're both so like, and I think that he's the one that's really grasping. I don't know if she's like super into him. I think that he's all like, hey.
I don't even mean the romantic part. She just, in the first scene right before, so there's Force Connection, Cave, Force Connection.
Yeah.
For in Force Connection 1 here, you have, she's yelling at him like, why'd you kill your dad? She's crying. She's calling him a liar and all this stuff. Right away in the next, as she goes Dark Side Cave.
Yep.
And now she's here with Kylo again in Force Connection 2. And she's like kind of sipping his Kool-Aid. I'm like, not a lot happened in between.
Well, but they're both now like just talking about how alone they are.
Yeah.
And about how like, that at this point, let's be honest, they're both in situations where they don't like their masters either.
Yeah.
How similar they actually are. Yeah.
No, I don't have a huge
At least he
issue
put
with
a
it.
shirt on.
He did, yeah. But they touched hands, and as Ryan said, that's the closest we'll ever get to a sex scene in Star Wars, at least before Andor.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he said that. Real thing he said. Touching hands.
Touching hands.
Gets real hot.
I mean, I'm bothered. I don't know about you. It's like,
So how about the dark side cave?
you know, she says it herself. She's just trying to find her place in this whole movie. I don't think she really does.
Yeah.
It kind of stinks. And then
Yeah.
at the very end, it's like, well, by the way, she's the last Jedi now. Okay. They're like,
Well, the culmination of her character arc is definitely in the throne room where Kylo says, you're a nobody,
yeah.
but you can be a somebody. I get that we're trying to have the Dagobah cave moment here,
Yeah.
but the Dagobah cave moment is a lot more subtle.
Yes.
Well, no, actually, it's not subtle. That's the point, I think, is and this one is trying to be so subtle. I'm like, I don't even know what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either because I know people were all like, oh, it's the clones. See? And I'm like,
I know it's foreshadowing her being a nobody and like that she comes from nothing, basically, but it's just her. It's just her.
yep,
out there.
I'm just Rey.
And it's just, I just don't get a lot out of this.
Yeah.
That's all. But as we just mentioned, the culmination in their character arcs conclude with a pretty good scene.
And you're talking about like intimate moments. This is crazy. Listen to this. Play it a little bit more, just for a sec. There you go. The force is strong with this guy.
Yeah.
Let's be real, because like, my goodness gracious. There's like,
Man, Seth's gonna need a minute. Seth's gonna need a cigarette break. So we'll take 5. We'll come back to this.
force is strong with him. That's all I'm saying, folks.
Yeah, no, I
crazy.
mean it's kind of interesting to see where how these characters have come together just on the shared experience of feeling alone.
Yes.
And now we're entering the throne room, and my goodness, we get some interesting stuff here. Like Snoke is extremely powerful,
He is. It's crazy.
like
He's just
effortlessly,
ripping knowledge out of people's heads.
just throwing people around like it's nothing.
Yes.
Like, man, I wonder what Snoke's. I wonder what he's about.
Yeah, I know.
Can't wait to learn more.
I can't wait for the sweet backstory on Snoke.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
My boy, we know who made Snoke.
So really, this is the moment I wanted to get to right here, and I mean, this is a major topic of conversation for this
Yes.
movie, the throne room fight. And already, I like how both of these characters have now come together, and this is one of those subvert your expectation moments that I think is kind of a
works.
crowd pleaser.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Do you remember the crowd audience to this moment?
Oh yeah, big cheer.
Mine cheered as well.
There was like kind of a gasp right here.
Yeah.
But then it's the music. You ready?
Yep. And I just remember his audience just going nuts. It's like Yoda's fighting Dooku.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and it's like, okay.
It's this moment for me.
Yeah.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back. We've never seen that before.
No. And here, pause it. Okay. Guys, I know what you're already thinking.
Have you seen the video of the choreography?
Yeah. I've seen the video of the choreography. And you know what? Hey, Connor. How are movies supposed to be watched?
In the theater.
In the theater. And I get it. It's kind of contrived. Me saying, you're not supposed to be just watching them, rewinding them back and forth. I get it. That's what we're doing right now. I get it. Okay? And yes, you're going to find little continuity errors and not exactly the best choreography. But you know what? I think this works for the most part. There is some great stuff in here. And I like what the camera's doing, and I like what the characters are doing. I'm sorry. I think really what would fix all of this is I think there needs to be 2 less guards. I think that would help immensely. But yes, I know that the choreography is a little stupid. I know that there's disappearing blades. But you know, despite all of its flaws, I think that this is awesome.
It's a great scene.
It is a really good scene. Again, I love the camera work. I love the character work. The music is awesome. I'm liking everything that's going on.
You're cooking. I don't have anything to add. I completely agree.
I love the fact that she throws this and then the whole background starts catching on fire because, you know, look, these guys are burning down the establishment. They're killing the past. It's deep. Throwing by. I don't even know why they got a meat grinder in the floor. But yeah, this shot right here of him looking over his blade and then cutting across the room to Rey. Like, dude, that is... You don't normally get that in Star Wars movies, in my opinion, with the with that kind of camera work. And I feel like I'm in this fight.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this kind of unique.
No, I completely agree with all the things you're saying. I think I used to be on that team.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when you really slow it down, you look, but you know what? When you're watching, you're meant to just feel something. That's
true.
the point of a movie. The point of a movie is to just put you in the moment, make you feel a certain way, and put your head in a certain spot. All of filmmaking is just emotional manipulation at the end of the day. That's all that's happening. And this is great.
And we can slow down other lightsaber fights and we can find silly stuff. There's stuff in the Duel of Fates where they're swinging at nothing.
Yeah.
It's just because they have to swing at something to keep it going.
In an ideal world, both are great, right?
Yes.
But I think first and foremost, as a filmmaker, your goal needs to be, what does the audience need to feel, and am I accomplishing that goal?
It's true.
And we've never seen this before.
No.
A light sider and a dark sider back to back, fighting together hand in hand. I am a sucker for the trope of the good guy has to work with the bad guy for a little bit.
Yeah.
So this was a big, I was hooting and hollering in the theater.
Yeah.
I'm here for this. I think this is really, really well done. And it culminates in an extremely interesting scene where Kylo is offering his hand to Rey. And this is the make or break it moment for both of these characters.
Yes, because their stories have kind of been building to this moment.
Kylo's looking at the throne, and
he stops and he looks at the throne. Okay, there's some good stuff going on here while everything's all burning around him, and she's like, "Hey, you could call off everything," and he's just sitting there, just staring at the throne.
Yeah,
and while holding the Skywalker blade, mind you.
That's a good call. Yeah, about him holding the blade. Both of these characters are kind of in an impasse.
Yes,
they're at a crossroads. Kylo is, I think, expecting Rey to be
weak.
Well, no, not weak at all. I think that they both have expected that they've worn down the other, and they haven't.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, just like all I gotta do is just like, she's gonna come with me. Yeah, I've worn her down.
Yeah, and we could do this together.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rey is on the opposite side. She's like, man,
kind of a Darth Vader thing. Together we can do this.
The gut punch of Rey finding out that she's a nobody is a great moment for us as the audience, because it's actually encouraging in some ways, because it's like, anybody can be anything, but Rey is so
broom kid. Yeah, I think that's kind of what he represents.
And Rey is so obsessed with being somebody, and now Kylo is so obsessed with
trying to find her place in the world, trying to be a part of these like a Solo, a Skywalker. Like, she's trying to find parents.
And Kylo is a somebody and doesn't want to be.
Exactly.
He wants to be his own man by this point. And so it's so interesting how they're on the opposite ends. They want different things. They want what the other has, but in different ways. And then it all kind of culminates in this moment, which I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh,
and that is the breaking of the Skywalker blade.
I can see it that it's setting up Rey's journey, because I see that like it's breaking the blade. Yeah. In order for it to,
and now she has to become her own person.
Exactly.
In a lot of ways, I do kind of, in hindsight, like this scene.
Yeah.
When I first watched it originally, it's kind of exhausting because you're like, oh my gosh, another thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that we're breaking in this movie. Got it. But thematically, I think
like
this
everything
works.
I love. Yeah.
I know, right? It does feel thematically correct that Rey and Kylo are now forced to the opposite sides of Anakin's legacy, and by extension, Star Wars' legacy.
Yeah.
And breaking that shows the conflict that remains of both of these characters, and it shows that they both need to become their own person. Everybody picks up on Kylo's line here, let the past die, kill it if you have to.
Yeah.
He is the villain. I don't think we're supposed to agree with him.
I was going to say, the movie never tells you that he's right.
Yeah.
But
you're supposed to agree with Yoda.
Yes.
Pass on what you have learned, accept your failure.
Yes. It seems like people get really stuck on the Luke Skywalker looking really mean and Kylo Ren going, hey, let the past die.
He's supposed to be wrong here, is the point.
He's the bad guy.
And it's showing that this is all on a spectrum, right? Like, you can't just not learn anything from your past. You can't just kill it. But you also can't stay stuck in the past. You need to come somewhere in the middle where you forge your own destiny, where you're learning from the past and forging your future, but you're also not ignoring it. And this does a good job of showing you two characters on the opposite end of that spectrum. And now in the next scene, when Luke comes back into the fold holding this very lightsaber, I think you get a representation of that, a character who's now at peace with both their past and their future.
Perfectly balanced.
There's one final thing in Act 2.
Yes.
We have not spoken about Holdo.
No.
And that's because everything about Holdo really culminates in this scene.
Yes, in this moment.
In this moment with ye old Holdo maneuver.
Yes.
in one of the most visually spectacular moments in this film.
Yes. But at the same time, I think it's the thing that bothers me the most. Like if I had to pick one thing, I think that this is just canon shattering. Pause it.
That's crazy.
Pause it on that. That's insane.
This is something.
It is.
I will say, just from a pure pacing perspective, this is awesome how just everything, all of our character arcs have come to this point.
Yes.
At this apex, and then shoom.
Yep.
It's all destroyed, and it leads us right into Act 3. But yes, you're right, Seth. We have not spoken a lot about Admiral Holdo.
No.
And that's because she mostly is here just to be a grating force on Poe, and I think that is bothersome.
Well, another master or another leader that's kind of like what Luke's doing to Rey.
That's a great point.
Exactly. It's just, again, it's funny how this whole movie is all about masters and passing on what they need to learn, but they're doing it with tough love.
Right.
Yes.
I don't want to linger on Holdo too long because ultimately I don't think that she's that bothersome.
No.
It just feels like another OC that has to lecture our characters, and that does get frustrating.
I will say, though, too, is that it is weird that have you noticed that sound cue when she tells Poe to, like, for the first time, that it's like, hey, just go to your post or whatever, Flyboy. I know people like you. You almost hear Kylo Ren's theme. Yeah. And, like the music kind of is the boom,
I listened for
boom,
it after you pointed that out,
boom,
and you're
boom.
right.
And I'm like, is Ryan trying to make us, or John, or are the director and the composer trying to make us feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And I think they are.
Right.
But, like, is she a turncoat? Is she a spy? That would, honestly, I think that might actually be more interesting. Yeah. But yeah.
I think Holdo ultimately is this movie's worst idea. I used to think it was Rose. I think Rose is mostly whatever. She's neither here nor there. And in my opinion, she does frustrate me, but there was opportunity for the character. Holdo, on the other hand, I just cannot understand her motivation at all.
Yeah.
I get Poe is a hothead, and you're not obligated to tell him anything.
No,
I get that.
I think too that it's that weird, like, she's trying to honor Leia's last request, and that I think too that she's trying to make sure that nobody else gets killed. But at the same time, rebels are dying left and right in this movie.
And it is ultimately her decision that gets almost everybody killed.
Yeah. Well, they don't know that DJ overheard that.
No, I'm not saying that. Listen, if Holdo, I understand this is a lot of dominoes, and, like, she couldn't have predicted this, but if Holdo would have just been more upfront with the crew.
Yeah.
And my argument for why she should be is not because of Poe. There's so many other people that join Poe, like Billy Lord's character and several others. Morale is clearly very low.
Yes.
The crew should know what's going on and what the plan is, rather than, Poe puts it well. It's like, tell me there's a plan.
Yeah.
She should be telling people that there's a plan.
It's true.
And if she did, Poe would not have gone behind her back to send Finn and Rose on their quest.
Yes.
And if they wouldn't have gone on their quest,
they wouldn't have gotten DJ, who would have then helped the First Order.
And so it all dominoes, and it's like, it's kind of all Holdo's fault.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do that, Holdo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to get past that. It's kind of frustrating because now you're getting to this moment here with the Holdo maneuver where I'm supposed to really care that she's making this noble sacrifice. And I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't care that much for several reasons. One, because you're showing me in the 11th hour why actually this character's really noble, and really they made all the right choices. And I'm like, this just feels like another lecture. But then also, let's get into the lore implications. First of all, why can't a droid do this? Why does it have to be Holdo?
That's a good point. A droid could probably make better calculations than a person.
Yeah. And so that's weird to me, why it has to be Holdo, because you see that in earlier when another guy piloting the frigate, he dies.
Yeah.
I'm like, why couldn't you get off too?
Yeah.
Why, just make it. I don't know why droids can't pilot it. Maybe there's a lore reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then there's the Holdo maneuver itself, which it's like, wow, this calls a lot into question.
Yeah, it does. Because why couldn't they do this with, several of the super weapons that they fought in the last movies?
Yeah.
It's weird. That's all I'm saying.
It's
really weird.
It's very strange. And, I try not to get caught up on the logic sometimes in these movies.
George never did. That's the whole thing.
Like,
but
why are bombs falling in space? I don't care. It's fine.
Magnets. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why is there fire in space? To go back to that from the Acolyte.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's fine. Whatever. Why are there explosions in space? Whatever. It looks cool. That's all I need. Here, this goes beyond it just looks cool. Now, when 3 of your movies are about blowing up massive super weapons and exploiting very specific weaknesses to do so, I'm like, couldn't you have just done this?
Yeah.
And I've heard people say, it's like, well, actually, the calculation had to be perfect because she had to jump to light speed right at the right moment so that she would actually crash into the ships. And I'm like, okay, but everything else is kind of blowing up in their path. And I also know from the last movie that Han Solo says they can't get to Starkiller Base because of the deflector shield, but they can get through it if they
Get out right at the right time.
If they land at light speed. So
Yep.
if Han Solo comes out of light speed on the surface of the planet,
Yeah.
they can get through their shields.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy gambit, and he makes it happen.
Yep.
So now I'm wondering, in Return of the Jedi, they have to get past the shield, right? The shield generator on
Yeah.
Endor. Could they not just do the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a 1 in a million thing, but Star Wars is kind of about 1 in a million chances.
It's true. And then also, in the last movie, shouldn't he went to hyperspace while inside another ship? Shouldn't he have like ripped apart, like going by this logic,
Yeah.
right? Shouldn't he have ripped apart his like frigate thing that he was transporting the Rathars on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens in the next movie too, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah. It's weird. It's just weird implications where, again, it doesn't matter with what happened in the other movies as long as Ryan gets to tell his story.
right.
So it's just another kind of frustrating thing.
It's
with
like
that.
on its own, this is great, but once you're thinking about other things, it's like,
I
okay.
don't know how this fits, but whatever. I don't know. Look, a couple nerds getting upset about that.
Yeah.
But weird piece of evidence.
There you go, though. We're at the end. This is it's the end of Act 2.
Mhm.
And you know what, Seth? I'm like, I don't know. I'm questioning.
You are? Think
questioning
they're
everything.
guilty?
I'm looking at the Holdo maneuver.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Finn and Rose's arc on Canto Bight, and I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe you held that knife in the alley that night.
Mm.
But then I also think about Yoda.
Yeah.
And I also think about Rey and Kylo Ren
Yeah.
in the third group fight. And I'm like, I don't know.
I was going to say, there's a couple wolves.
And there are 2 wolves in
and
this
they're
movie.
fighting.
I'm like, I don't know if you're guilty or not. I think we're going to have to take a look at Act 3.
It's true, because it's frustrating, because it's like, oh, I want to be mad at you. But then there's like, I kind of like you. It's frustrating.
Guilty or not, I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
both of us are saltier than the surface of Crait. Let's get down there and finish this.
Amen, brother.
There it is. The Resistance charging at the First Order, man. This is the payoff. This is the climax. This is what we've been building for 2.5 hours, man. I mean, this is going to be...
Pizza rolls. It tastes like drywall.
Except for Luke Skywalker to show up, except it's not really Luke Skywalker. It's him using the Force for defense and knowledge and never for attack. I mean, he's going to stare down...
There's no seasoning, no sauce. These are barely edible. Where'd you get these? They're not air fried. I can tell you that much.
That's salted enough for you? Watch the movie.
Yeah, better. Yeah.
Ooh, boy, what a journey we've been on so far. And now we've reached Act 3, which is the most simple of all 3 acts because of all of our storylines have kind of come to an apex here,
Yeah,
which is
everybody's
great.
together, which
Everybody's
is nice.
together. We do have a couple moments, though, like this. We've already mentioned it earlier. We don't have to spend too much on it, which is Finn versus Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I like it, except for the fact that BB-8's running around in the background murdering people. That bothers me.
I just don't like the Phasma shows up at the last minute, and
Yes.
then it's just something for Finn to fight.
Again, a lot of my problems would be fixed if she was on the bridge with Hux
Yeah.
in the first scene.
Yeah.
Or something.
This just feels like a side quest within a side quest.
Yes. I think that he has a good final moment while you know, say the whole I'm rebel scum. Which is cool. I like that, but it just doesn't, I don't know if it feels earned.
That's exactly
That's
what
the
I was
only
going to
thing.
say. It doesn't feel earned.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel earned.
Mm-mm.
Their whole arc has been about going to a casino and all this other stuff, and I'm like, this was not set up at all.
No. He deserved better.
But you know a great scene? Oh boy, look at this.
Guys, I lied. This might actually be my favorite moment in the whole movie.
Really?
Yes, I really like because I love this. Look at this. My boss is laying there on the ground. Actually, the guy I hate is laying there on the ground. And then, oh, now's not the time. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's so good. And then this whole time, everyone's been like, dude, you're not Darth Vader. And they go out of their way in The Force Awakens to show that Kylo Ren uses different force powers. He doesn't act like Darth Vader. And then now someone questions him, and what's he start doing?
Let's just watch and find out.
Yes.
The sound design?
Dude, he's full on Vader now at this point.
Yep. He
But
got
it's-
nothing to lose.
But here's the other thing, though, is I think that Vader still had a grip on things in his age. What? Yeah. But I think, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think the Vader, I think that like Kylo's like unhinged now at this point.
Yeah.
So it's just like good luck.
He's real scary now.
This sets him up to be the big bad, and
Yeah.
actually like a really interesting big bad. And I'm kind of sad that we don't get that in the next movie.
He does what Vader never could.
Yeah.
He overthrows his master and becomes the master.
Yes.
And that's huge.
It is.
Like, and so now it's like he's not living in Vader's shadow anymore. He's more than Darth Vader, at least in his mind.
Yeah.
And he has nothing to lose, and he is unhinged.
Yes.
That's great coming into this next scene because
It is.
Luke is about to humble him and say, you think you're Vader?
Yeah.
You thought you were past that? You're not, buddy.
No.
You're just that kid. You're still just that kid. You've not learned anything.
You're still a stupid kid, that's what, dude, all the masters are telling people that in this movie. You're dumb. You're a little kid. Even Yoda tells Luke that.
Great cinematography.
It's a good shot. The man knows his way around a camera. That's all I'm saying. The man can cook.
So you have the Battle of Crait.
Do we start with Poe?
Start with Poe.
I'm happy because he at least has something to do. Because in the last act, yeah, he planned his little coup and everything like that, but like it didn't mean anything. He was just kind of like getting drug around like everybody else. So it's just kind of okay, whatever. But here, I like the fact that he has learned his lesson because we see what he was trying to do in the first act, but Luke does the exact same thing that he does in the third act, but for different reasons. Like it's not for selfish reasons. And I like that. And we see that like he's really taking hold of his whole idea that he's going to be the leader of everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, that Leia's like, hey, you should listen to him. He understands the idea of the value of a life.
Right.
And you could see too that like Finn's trying to make the sacrifice play later. And what's he doing? He's like, no, pull back, man. I mean, it's not worth it anymore. We don't need to have anybody die.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in defense of Rose Tico's line, I think it's a little cheesy. It's a little slogan-y, but where she says,
Yes.
this isn't how we win by fighting what we hate. It's by saving what we love.
Mm-hmm.
Take those two moments, the mirrors the bookends of the beginning of this movie and the end. Poe standing alone against the First Order, doing it for his own glory and getting a lot of people killed in the process. Luke does it with the express purpose to save.
Yep.
So Poe stands against the First Order to fight what he hates and
Yep.
at the expense of the lives of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is saving what he loves.
Yep.
And I do think that that's a lesson. I'll admit I don't love that moment where I don't love that moment where Rose saves Finn. I think it's a little slogany.
It is.
But that is the lesson here is that
It is.
it's all about intention. It's where your heart's at.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you might be doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Luke and Poe might be doing the same thing, but it's intention and it's the purpose behind their actions.
And it's really interesting because I think that it actually makes this movie one of the more rewatchable Star Wars movies because of stuff like that, where it's like there's a lot of layers going on with this kind of stuff. Yeah, that I think that it is deeper than some of the other Star Wars
To his
movies.
credit, right? It's some pretty tight writing.
It is.
This has got some really tight writing, some nice setups, some nice payoffs.
Yes, where other characters are kind of like completing arcs for other people or like explaining arcs for other people while other things are happening.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
impressive.
You know what Luke's saying in the beginning? Like, what'd you expect? Me to stand up with a laser sword against the whole First Order?
Yeah,
Brother, he does that at the end.
he does.
And it's a nice piece. It's a nice payoff. It's a nice full circle moment.
Mhm.
To be honest, I don't have a ton to say about the Battle of Crait itself.
Yes.
Until Luke gets there.
Well-
because I think it's like you said, we've kind of said all we need to about Poe. Finn's arc kind of comes to a culmination where he's done running finally for the second movie in a row.
Yes.
And he's about to sacrifice himself to save his friends.
Yes.
And then Rose saves him. I will admit, like,
While calling him a dummy in the process.
yeah.
Yeah.
So to finish off Finn and Rose for this movie, how their characters end, I do have a small gripe with this.
Crait's awesome though.
This is really the salt, the visual, all of it's
Yes,
excellent.
that's what I was kind of getting is that the visual of the planet is really neat.
It is really cool.
Yes, looks like the planet's bleeding.
But we've seen this whole fight, them just picking off effortlessly the speeders. And I get that the Force is kind of guiding him a little bit. But watch this. Rose just comes in out of nowhere. I'm like, you're telling me she didn't get hit?
Yeah, it's true. Because especially since you see that shot of they've all turned back and he's going all by himself. I'm like, how did she get around there to hit him?
And they walked the whole way back without getting shot.
Yeah.
Come on. I do think this is odd. Her line about, I rescued you, dummy. I'm like, okay, in the last scene, we just saw Holdo sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
In the next scene, we're going to see Luke Skywalker sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
why are you grandstanding on me, Rose? Why is it bad for Finn to sacrifice himself?
It's true.
I'm not saying I wanted that to
Well,
happen.
I think that
it just
she cares
feels
about
weird.
him. That's the other thing.
Yes, but the movie is trying to tell you that she's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that it's because Rose doesn't feel like she has an actual character.
Yeah.
She's just a moral compass for the movie.
Jiminy Cricket.
I don't get any of your motivations. I don't know what Rose feels about anything.
Yeah.
I just know that you like to lecture a lot of us on war bad, sacrificing bad, death bad,
Gambling's bad.
gambling's bad.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Arms
Yeah.
dealing bad.
So
Because that's what I'm going to go do.
I'm
Start
just-
arms dealing.
So I'm not into this. I just
Yeah.
don't. Finn is such a sad story for these movies. It's like
I
every
agree.
time I feel like he's about to do something, these movies take it away.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, whatever.
We should mention too, I think it's interesting that like Rey has hardly anything to do with it in this act.
Yeah.
She's on the Falcon. She distracts. She gets everybody out of there. And then she ends up lifting the rocks at the end, being the last Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing for, I think, really the resistance to kind of rally around. I think that's what now her new role is, basically. But The Force Awakens is like, this person is important. But then it's like, she's not really important to the climax of this movie.
Well, I think this movie really has two climaxes. You have the throne room, which is Rey's,
Yeah.
and then you have this, which is Luke's.
Yeah.
It is a little disjointed, I think, because like you said, Luke disappears for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And now Rey has to disappear for another little
she's
chunk of
just
the movie.
not there. But granted, I love Here They Come. Here They Come is the name of
Yeah.
that.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
When she's flying through the crystal cage.
Yeah, well, Chewbacca's flying her through
Excuse
the
me.
crystal cage.
Yes.
And I love that. And also, since we haven't really talked about them, thoughts on porgs? Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine too. I think they're a bit too much in this third act. I don't like them hanging out on the Falcon.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. I like them on Crait though. It's good stuff. But there's just too much porg action. But yes, Chewie's flying the Falcon.
Yes. But then after that, the Battle of Crait is
That's a
kind
sick
of
shot.
It is sick.
Yeah.
The Battle of Crait is lost.
Yeah. It's over. No one's answering the call.
No one's answering.
Mhm.
And you have this just heartbreaking shot of Leia Organa here that we're just about to see. But notice that sun.
I was going to say,
It's
dude,
not gone.
no, it hasn't set. Dude, the lens flares are insane in this scene.
I love how quiet this is.
Mm-hmm.
Because then she looks up.
Well, she senses it.
Yeah. You just hear C-3PO's servos.
Mm-hmm.
And in a shot that mirrors the return of the Jedi
Yep.
and Jabba's palace. It's Luke Skywalker, baby.
It is.
And I don't know
is.
about you. When I saw this in the theater for the first time, I'm like, my boy got a fresh cut. Look at him. He had time for that on his way
Yeah.
over here.
I know. I was kind of like, I remember the first time watching this again when I saw his waist and I saw the lightsaber. Like, all right, something's weird.
Yeah.
Because like we just watched that get destroyed.
Yeah.
That's in like several pieces.
No, it does. Ryan does a great job of showing you, like, because for Luke, it's important that he carries this lightsaber into battle.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's important for him. He's like, you know what? This is part of me. This is part of my past, and I will pick it up and face down the First Order.
Yep.
But this scene, man, this is all the feels.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another thing that, regardless how I feel about this movie, what a gift to be able to see. Because this is what we wanted. The sequels are guilty of many sins. And I don't think it was wrong for fans to want this.
Yeah.
To just want more adventures with our friends. That means so much to us. Our heroes that we grew up with.
Yeah.
When we get moments like this, it feels so cathartic. And we're
Yeah.
like, we cherish them and treasure them because there's not many of them. And now, because of real life, we'll never get more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might get recasts. And don't get me wrong, I hope they do that. And I hope we do get more moments. But there is something about seeing their faces in these roles, getting to interact with one another in a scene that is really touching.
Mm-hmm.
That really means a lot to me. And I like how kind of funny this is. That even in this moment of darkness,
Yeah.
they can have some fun.
Mhm.
And they do feel like siblings here.
Yeah, they do. I love Mark's eyes, like how lit up they are because of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, in the beginning of the movie, I'm like, man, this isn't Luke. This isn't the guy I know. This is Luke and Leia from the original trilogy. These are these characters 25 or 30 years later.
Yeah.
And I feel that. Ryan does such a good job emanating that. And so it makes me.
Why couldn't you have done that the whole movie?
It makes me lament that, seriously, because we get pockets of that. Like we mentioned with Luke and R2, Luke and Yoda.
Yeah.
Gosh, why couldn't this have been more of the movie?
Yeah.
We could have done so much more.
But maybe that's why you love these moments, because he
maybe,
didn't have it.
you know, it's like,
Because if he's giving it to you all the time, then you're going to really care.
you know, it's kind of like this. This is what it makes me think of.
Okay.
Force Awakens brought you to a pool. You're excited to jump in.
Yeah.
It's a little too cold though. You don't want to jump in. And then Ryan Johnson comes in and just pushes you in.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's jarring. You're like, gosh dang it, that's really freezing. But then he comes over to you and he's like, hey, he's got a hot towel on his arm and a cup of hot chocolate, and he pulls you out, and you're like, you know, this feels pretty good getting wrapped up in this towel. This hot chocolate's really nice.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, you pushed me in the pool.
Yeah.
So this feels great because I was just freezing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, my brother in Christ, you're the one who pushed me in. So I can't help, like, that's why I lament this. It's like, I don't think that it was necessary to push the audience in the pool, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You could have gotten us there other ways.
Yeah.
But even still, this is great. And it is a beautiful scene. I'm just glad you're here. Gosh, it hits you. It hits you right here.
Mm-hmm.
For so long, but I know my son.
This is great. Notice
No one's ever really gone.
Notice that dialogue right there. What's he telling Leia? I can't do it. But he can still be brought back.
Yeah. Someone else can do it.
Maybe you can do it.
Yes.
And
Maybe Rey could do it.
what happens? It's a great moment of self-awareness for Luke to say, like, Luke put so much on his own shoulders.
Well,
And this is him letting it off.
it's very much like Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan could only crack the mask.
Oh, yes.
Luke's the only one that could remove the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this
it's
is
very
Luke-
much that.
Yeah, and Luke's accepting, like, yeah, he's the legend Luke Skywalker, but he can't solve every problem in the
It's
galaxy.
true. And maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is it's because he's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Then there's this beautiful moment where he hands her the dice. The acting is so good. The camera work is amazing. And just watch. Now that she's touching his hand, she knows.
Yeah.
She knows.
He ain't really there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like too that the pass of the dice, like you wouldn't think that much about it.
Gosh. And then the kiss on the forehead. Gosh,
Yeah.
it just makes you want to cry. Like, it gets me every time I watch
Yeah.
this, especially knowing, you know, because we watched this in the theater after she passed.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful send off to her.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, by the way, only thing that Mark got Ryan to change. He wanted Luke to acknowledge C-3PO. Give a little wink.
Yeah.
And we're about to cook with some John Williams here.
It's
Listen
true.
to this.
This is really good.
Fun fact, that's all of Mark's kids right there. Watching him walk out. It's a great shot.
Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum. Amazing
Yes.
stuff, man. We're
Yes.
about to get peak cinema. Guys, thank you for being here. It's
Yeah.
been a long road.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to get to this moment, but by golly, do we get peak Luke Skywalker in this next moment. And I am here for it. And my boy's dripping out. This is the coolest he's ever looked. Let's be honest.
No, I don't think so.
What's peak Luke?
Battle over the Great Pit of Carcoon.
That's an easy number 2. But I mean, brother, come on.
It's cool.
Like, you may not like it, but that's what peak male performance looks like right
Okay,
there.
all right.
So now the Resistance knows what Luke Skywalker is doing. He's sacrificing himself so that they all can get to safety. We
Yes.
get the battle between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker. Some amazing dialogue.
Kind of ridiculous that Finn wants to try to fight Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Yes, we gotta get out there to help him.
But, you know, in line with the guy we knew.
Well, in line with now the guy who he is, that he's like, okay, gotcha. I gotta fight for my friends and everything. But it's like, hold your horses, buddy. This is Kylo Ren.
Yeah. You got a lucky shot last time because he was
Yes.
shot in the stomach with a bowcaster.
Yes, exactly.
Dialogue here is great. Or have you come to say you forgive me? To save my soul? No.
No.
I love that.
Yeah.
That line delivery is excellent.
I like too the mirroring. Everything you just said is wrong. Yes, the first time he said it to Rey in the first act, and then he says it here to Kylo. More of their dyad. Hey, look.
And notice there's some more mastery going on with Luke Skywalker. He's dodging the strikes on purpose because he can't make contact with Kylo's lightsaber.
Yes.
And so you see how skilled he is, not only with the Force, but as a duelist. What power is he showing right now that not only is he projecting himself across the galaxy, but he's having a full-on choreographed duel.
Yes.
Where he is intentionally not matching strikes, but still avoiding them.
Yes. To keep the fight going longer.
Keep the fight going. That's insane.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, guys. This is it. This is the most Jedi thing a Jedi has ever done in Star Wars.
It's awesome.
Using the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we'll ever top this. It's like what a dichotomous movie. The two wolves in this movie are really fighting, and
It's
this is
true.
one wolf is getting the upper hand right here because this is peak Star Wars.
It's really cool.
It's
it is
awesome.
Very, very cool.
The rebellion is reborn today.
Lifting rocks.
The war is just beginning. And I will not be the last Jedi.
And you know what? That hits the right notes for me.
It's true.
It really does. There's a lot of baggage on this movie and on this scene. And I mentioned earlier about the nomenclature of resistance versus rebellion. And that's why, because of this moment, I wish so much that wasn't so muddy. Because this moment is so powerful to show like, oh, you think you won? No, I just lit the spark that will bring down the First Order and restore the Republic. The rebellion is reborn today. And guess what? You thought you got me? No, I won't be the last Jedi.
Yeah.
There is another.
Yeah. And I like too that it sets up Kylo Ren to even like, it's just putting him more on that villain arc.
Yeah.
Yes. Where it's just like, oh, now you've just made him mad. Sets him up really well for the next movie as well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
There is one final beat of this movie.
That is insane.
Oh, that's so freaking good, man.
And
wow.
Then, and now he's like, I got him, right? What is going on? Then it's like, and now he's putting it together.
What an awesome reveal, man.
It's true.
Oh,
it's really, really good.
I didn't need Luke ripping down ATATs.
Dude, and thank goodness we didn't get that, because that would have been so goofy, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This
is cooler.
I agree. It's what it means to be a real Jedi. See you around, kid. And I like that. They're just gone. Yep.
And it's just enough time. He lost.
Yep.
Luke got him again.
Got this little cue. Dun, 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 dun. The scream here.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
The death of Luke Skywalker. I think that this scene is a beautiful send-off to the character of Luke Skywalker. The visuals, the music, all of it, the binary sunset coming back. I just really don't like that it's part of this movie. Because we've gone this whole movie, we've talked about it a bunch now, where we had to start in such a low place to get here. And now that Luke went through this entire character arc, and now that he's become the legend once again, and he still gets what depressed, suicidal Luke wanted. He still dies at the end. And look, I'll admit, maybe this is my Luke bias coming in. I've told you several times, I'm a big Luke fanboy, and I get it. He's now dying with purpose, as Rey says later. It's with purpose, and he's becoming one with the Force. I just don't think that this was necessary to the story, in my opinion. I think that he should have gone into the next movie. He didn't need to be a big part of it. I'm trying to get past my Luke bias and I don't know, maybe this is great. Maybe this is a great end for the character.
If I may.
Go ahead.
You know what I see right here? I see a wizard out beyond the Dune Sea. And I see a wizard looking, and he sees that the future is going to be okay, and that he chose to make a sacrifice. I see him making the Obi-Wan play right here. That's all I see. And I know that I just see more actual Star Wars rhyming here.
Okay.
And so it does not bother me that much.
I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But to borrow a line from Mark Hamill, the overdosing on the Force is, that's a tough pill for me to swallow, because with Obi-Wan, he gets cut down. It's a true sacrifice. Whereas here, I'm not saying he doesn't sacrifice himself, because he clearly does.
The effort kills him.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
that's
effort
not.
kills him.
I was gonna say it's not overdosing on the Force. He's just using the Force so much. Yes, it takes so much out of him. I would not.
Yeah, I think that's overdosing on the Force.
No, I don't like that. Overdosing is such a weird way to put that. Yeah, that it's no. I think that he overexerted himself on the Force. Maybe I like that a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way, I like that you get to have your cake and eat it too. Kylo doesn't get the satisfaction of cutting down Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke goes out on his own terms.
Yeah.
And like you said, he is looking to the future. And, and maybe that's all it is just the Luke fanboy in me needed a little more. But it was like, man, we got to the end of this movie and it's like, there he is. That's the guy I came to the theater to see.
Yeah.
And now he's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, the last movie,
but what was
Han Solo's gone.
It's true.
And now this movie, Luke Skywalker's gone. And unfortunately, because of real life, Leia's gone.
Yes.
I'm like, gosh.
But at the same time, what's the last thing? One of the last things he says to Leia, no one's ever really gone. So I think that's alluding to the fact that like he's going to come back. That's the whole thing about the good guys. He says it. He says that he's going to be part of Kylo Ren's future.
And I get it. I don't. And when I left the theater,
see you around, kid.
That was what I was holding on to. And man, when we got that Rise of Skywalker trailer and we hear him talk, I was like, thank you. Because funny enough, I know I'm skipping ahead to next week a little bit, but we got an announcement pretty early on when production started that Mark was returning as Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, because there was like questions that he wasn't going to be in it.
And I thought that was a smart move, because I'm like, okay, a lot of the people who were upset, but then unfortunately he's got like 2 scenes. And again, maybe I just have to accept that's my bias. But it was really hard for me to have to watch this and be like, man, now we got back our guy. We got peak Luke. And now he's gone.
Yeah.
And maybe that's life, and maybe that's the lesson here. I do, like I said,
the story Ryan wanted to tell.
On its own, this scene, I think is like, if you could have somehow just cut it out of here, put it at the end of Tross, said he played a part to play in Tross, like I would really like it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I just have to kind of accept the fact that, my hero had to die. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
When it's like Han died, Luke died, the Skywalker blade's broken half. There's a lot of stuff going on where we're just.
But granted, it's very Empire feeling. Luke loses a hand. He loses his lightsaber. Han Solo's gone.
Death isn't necessary to show stakes and to show growth. I just don't think that you had to kill them all. You know what I mean? You didn't have to kill all the characters. I get why you had to kill Leia in the next movie, or rather why she had to die. You didn't kill her. She kind of went out on her own terms too. But just a lot all at once. But this movie ends with our characters having to rebuild, and the movie ends on pretty clean slate.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, despite my issues, I was pretty excited for what was to come in episode 9. How are they going to wrap this all up?
Rather than resetting the status quo, it gave us something new. Yeah. There's like 13 people on the Falcon. Okay. See how they figure this out. Kylo Ren's now commanding the First Order, because something that we did not talk about was the fact that the look Hux gives as Kylo Ren is sitting in there looking at the dice and everything. You just see the hate in Hux's face. That it's like, oh no, this guy's who's running the show. Yeah, this is not good. That Hux wants to be running the show. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, the actual final be the sort of epilogue of this movie is Broom Boy. And I think that with the message that he's trying to show, about the future and about how anybody can pick up this torch, I think that that's a fine message for this movie.
In fact, that's a message that's talked about a lot in Star Wars these days, about how the door's cracked and anybody can walk through the door. Yeah. Yeah. So he was ahead of the curve. I don't know if it needed to be done in a saga movie, but it happened. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think that maybe if you were going to tell the Skywalker saga movies, maybe don't kill all the Skywalkers. That's all I'm saying. Maybe focus a little bit more on some other stuff. Yeah. And then the movie ends. And that's it for The Last Jedi. Seth, we've gone over a lot of evidence today. We've talked about Acts 1, 2, and 3. We talked about our characters, where they started, where they ended up. We talked a lot about a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys. I think it's time we deliberate and come up with our final verdict. Did The Last Jedi kill Star Wars? 82% a verdict?
I think so. All right, guys. I've mulled it over. Much like The Force Awakens, I think that this movie suffers from bad timing, not bad filmmaking. This is a very competent movie. Just stinks where it came in the saga. There's some incredible additions to the mythos, you know, force projections, force connections. But then there's also stuff that hurts the mythos, you know, like the Holdo maneuver, ultimately, you know, just making me scratch my head more than anything. I really do like the fact that Ryan got to tell the story that he wanted to tell. Like, that's awesome for filmmaking. But like the two wolves, that's a good thing and a bad thing that he got to tell exactly what he wanted to tell. And I think that that hurt this movie just as much. I think it's cool that he got to tell a story like Rashomon with an unreliable narrator. I think it's cool that he's inspired by the things that inspired George. We've been saying that we want that. We don't want Star Wars to just be inspired by Star Wars. Be inspired by the things that inspired George. I like the fact that he leaves you like thinking like, oh, the door can be cracked for anybody. We've been saying that. But at the same time, while doing all this, he's dragging the characters we love through the mud through the first and second acts. And then by the third act, it's like, this is awesome. They've gotten out of the mud. They've triumphed. But do you really care at that point? That's what's really, really tough. This story is good, but it just makes the other two movies in the trilogy suffer because of that. Ultimately, I don't think that that's this movie's fault. I think it's the head honcho's fault. Looking at all the evidence, I've decided that we shouldn't blame this suspect either.
Innocent. Accessory after the fact?
Maybe.
Maybe we can reach a plea deal on that?
Maybe.
Here's what I got for you. Ultimately, this movie's weird. I think on its own, I kind of like it. And that really surprised me walking away from it. I think this is a pretty good movie on its own. You always hear people say this line. It's a good movie. It's not a good Star Wars movie. And I always kind of rolled my eyes at that. But you know what? I kind of see it a little bit. I think this is a really well-made movie with tight editing, tight writing, some nice setups, some nice payoffs. However, it is the 8th movie, the penultimate movie in a 9-episode saga, and the second movie in a new trilogy. Only the second movie made by a guy not named George Lucas. I just think it was too tough of a sell to get the audience on board. The biggest crime of this film isn't that it dared to be different or whatever, because we need more of that, let's be honest. It's deliberate in its choices to subvert your expectations in order to drag you along for the story it wants to tell. A good story, but an expensive one. It takes too little from TFA to build upon and leaves Tross with a clean slate. That's next week's topic. Ultimately, here's my verdict for you. Did The Last Jedi kill Star Wars? I'm not sure, but I think it did for a lot of people. And no singular movie can take away your memories and experiences with the Star Wars you love, and that goes for me too. And I don't think The Last Jedi really makes any choices that poison the entire franchise, and I don't think it ruins Star Wars, but I'm not so sure it didn't kill all the momentum that Star Wars had under new leadership. And to this day, I think it's tough to trust Disney Lucasfilm's leadership. It's taken 8 years to begin to earn back trust and excitement about Star Wars again. And even then, I've never seen Star Wars hype return to the pre-TLJ days. And that's just a fact, unfortunately. Except maybe The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, which in a lot of ways felt like a reaction and maybe even an apology to this movie. If you were there, I think you felt the collective Star Wars fandom shift after this film came out. And it was kind of sad, to be honest. That's not to say that you can't like this movie or even love this movie or even that it's a bad movie, because I don't think either of those things are true. But when a center plot point of your movie is to take the hero, Luke Skywalker, and make him a jaded, suicidal hermit I think that's just kind of a slap in the face to the people who were inspired by him. Is it a human thing for Luke to do? Sure. But heroes sometimes mean something a little bit more than being just human. But, you know, this movie's not just about Luke, and I don't want to linger on Luke too much, but it is called The Last Jedi, and so much of this movie is about Luke and Luke's place in this galaxy and how that affects other characters in this story. As far as the other characters go, unfortunately, we have similar problems. A lot of them, like Seth said during his verdict, get dragged through the mud, only to come up later in the movie. And it's great to see them succeed. It's great to see them rise, but my goodness, there's just not a lot of wins until that third act. And so much of the third act's triumph is at the expense of our characters and our story thus far, not just in this movie, but in The Force Awakens as well. That said, though, it does leave us in a really good place going forward. It gets us set up with basically a clean slate for TROS. Kylo's the big bad. The Resistance now is a true underdog story again. The First Order is more powerful than it's ever been. Well, maybe not since Starkiller Base, but you get the point. They're scarier because they're led by Kylo Ren, who is unhinged. He's got nothing to lose. And that's exciting for when we get into TROS. So did it kill Star Wars? Without letting my bias govern my thoughts, no. Because regardless how I feel, there are a lot of people who love this movie. Love the direction Ryan took the story, and for them, Star Wars is more alive than ever in this movie. Barring any sort of objective evidence, who am I to say otherwise? And even despite my own feelings, I think that you can feel the beating heart of Star Wars within this movie at several points. And that's really exciting. So, innocent for now, but I've got my eye on you, TLJ. We'll see in the next movie how this all shakes out. Yeah, Chief. You're kidding.
Another body.
Gosh dang it! Is anybody watching this alley?
Well, I guess that means we only have one suspect left.
I got a bad feeling about this.